You know, it's really becoming a football Friday now. We appreciate each and every single one of you coming aboard with us. We thank you very much. We, again, can't thank you enough for coming aboard here with us. And we got to tell you flat out, a fine gentleman about 2 years ago, because I kept going over the fact of some of the BS that went on in my past, in my broadcasting career, came up with one of the best lines of all time. And you know what that is? Big Sills, stop punching down. He was like, why are you punching down? And so the Philadelphia Eagles, and in their idiotic social media folks, decided to punch down by throwing Quinyon Mitchell into the conversation of Terry and Arnold. Why? You want to freaking outrun that stuff, man. You want to put that kid in a category with Derek Stingley and some of the top guys like Patrick Surtain. You don't want to say, and by the way, you know what that was all over, right? That was all over kissing Howie Roseman's ass. That Howie got it right. That's exactly what that was. That he got it right. Okay, so you're punching down. I'll tell you what, bro. You didn't get Nolan Smith right. And you surely didn't get Andre Dillard right. And you surely didn't get Jalen Reagor right. That's what you bring up when you bring scenarios like that. You put a bullseye on yourself and you put the kid in a bad situation. And by the way, that's not Howie doing that. That's that idiot Bob Lang. That's the PR guy and the idiot Bob Lang doing that. That's the guy who has become one of the biggest cancers in Philadelphia media, is Bob Lang, the PR director of the Philadelphia Eagles. Dude, you don't really think Howie had anything to do with that? Hell no. You don't really think Q had anything to do with that? Hell no. It's that idiot Bob Lang. You don't want to put Q in that conversation with a loser like that. You want to put him in the position that you're being talked about, like Patrick Surtain or Derek Stingley. That is totally what Joe Krause, my buddy, would say is punching down. Dude, bad look across the board. You don't need it. You're the Eagles. Act like it. Act like you've been there. And again, it's not a rip on Howie. It's a rip on their PR department. Total shit move, man. You look small when you do that shit. You totally look small. And again, swear to God, no rip at all in any way at Howie. It's a total PR in your face with a guy who's a criminal now. You talk about, and by the way, there'll be assholes in here like Dumb Reyes who will defend that bullshit because you know why? In his eyes, the Eagles can't do any wrong. Well, they did, and they punched down. Bad look, dude. Across the board. Completely bad look. All right. Mike North is going to join us. That'll be at 4:30. Hit that like button, guys. We appreciate you each and every single day. Thank you so much. Super chats go to the top. To some of you that are in here today, most of you will get our attention. Some of you will have to pay for it. That's what we do here. Because some of you that come in here each and every single day for 4 hours and post your bullshit, Joe Krause and Zander and I really appreciate it very much to keep the algorithm going. So keep punching away. This is one of the rules we have here at JAKIB. Unlike Bill Cunnilingus over on 97.5, we don't start fights with people. We don't block people. We embrace people. That's why we have everybody here. And whether you like Big Sills or not, we embrace you. Thank you very much. All right. Man, do we got a lot to get to. My goodness, do we have a lot to get to. And most notably, with the beginning of the continuing disrespect nationally of Jalen Hurts. You know what's funny? I started this conversation with you 5.5 years ago. And now it's like everybody is catching up now. And everybody's now starting to catch up with what we're doing and what we're saying now. So I happen to really respect, and Pete Prisco is a Hall of Fame voter. And so CBS Sports came out with the top 100 football players in the NFL. Oh, and by the way, who have I been telling you the last 3 years is the best football player in the league? It's really not any groundbreaking news, but it's Myles Garrett. And it's really not close. Garrett is without a doubt the best football player in the league. And I happen to respect Pete. We should get Pete on. He's a talk show host in Jacksonville, and he does a lot of work for CBSSports.com, and he's got a lot of cachet with the National Football League. So here's his list of the top 100 football players. Garrett, Stafford, Josh Allen's number 3. Oh, by the way, Jamar Chase. Good afternoon to you, Suave. Appreciate you coming aboard. Hey, okay, so get this. Gee, Jamar Chase? Hang on for a second. Jamar Chase is considered the 4th best football player, and he plays in Cincinnati? Wait a minute. I thought all this stuff was based on wins and Super Bowls. According to some of you in here, because we win a Super Bowl, we are the best players in the NFL, which is total bullshit and is not true. So here's what CBS and Hall of Fame voters think of your top 100. Garrett 1, Stafford 2, Josh Allen, number 3. Of course he is. Jamar Chase 4, Joe Burrow 5. Of course he is. Penei Sewell 6, Mahomes 7. Let's see here. Justin Jefferson 8. Puka Nacua, 9. Lamar Jackson, 10. Holy cow. There's your top 10. Man, so let me see. When do I get to the first Eagle? There's Patrick Surtain, who's the number 11th best player in the league and the best corner in pro football. There's Micah Parsons at 12. JSN, what a wideout. Super Bowl champion, number 13. Aiden Hutchinson, number 14. Will Anderson, number 15. Look at Fred Warner coming in at 16. There's old Bijan. We told you he was a sandbox guy a couple years ago, did we not? We told you that guy was going to be one of the top football players in all of pro football. And there he is at number 17. Terry McBride is the 18th best player. He plays on the Cardinals. What? And there's Christian McCaffrey at 19. Shit, I was told Barkley's better. Oh, okay. Oh, and there's Jeffrey Simmons, number 20. The best defensive tackle in pro football. Playing on a bad team in 2025, he didn't get the attention he deserved for how well he played. He's a dominant interior rusher. Once again, was tough against the run. He earned a mega deal and is clearly by far one of the best players in pro football. Whew. Wow, let's see. Jamar Gibbs. There's Tristan Wirfs, the number 1 tackle in pro football next to Penei Sewell. So Sewell and Worse, had lanes long in the tooth. It's okay. He's going into like the back end of his career here. Let's see here what we got here. There's Creed Humphreys, Trent Williams, number 25. Where the hell's an Eagle? Here we go. There's Jordan Mailata, number 30. There's number 1. There he is, number 30. His play dipped last season, but it still remains one of the best left tackles. He's a big power player who keys the run game and does a great job in pass protection. His pass protection, though, did fall off early, but he regrouped to give him the 30th best spot in pro football as the 30th best player. First Eagle. Let's see here. Jonathan Taylor, 32. James Cook, number 34. There's old Max Crosby at 35. There he is. Quinyon Mitchell. After a stellar rookie season in 24, he followed up with another impressive year in coverage. He is a blanket in coverage and continues to grow from his first campaign. Truly true that he is really turning out to be a really great player. So let's continue. Let's see. We're Cam Hayward at 39, 37 years old, still the second best interior tackle in pro football. And there's Derek Stingley at number 40. There's Lane. He comes in at a number 41. What do they say about the 36-year-old? The value of his game is evident. When watching the Eagles with and without him in the lineup, he missed time last year and the offense struggled. He's that good at 37 years old, even coming off of a foot injury. Congratulations, Lane Johnson, as one of the top 50 players in the game. It's quite a statement. Oh, Dak, sitting there at number 43. Coming off an injury-shortened 24 season, he bounced back to play in all 17 games. He threw 30 touchdowns versus just 10 picks. The Cowboy offense that played loose because of a bad defense, Dak is that guy. There's Derrick Henry. Look at this, man. Derrick Henry at 45. 45th best player at 32 years of age. He didn't quite have as good a season as he did in 24. Yeah, he ran for $2,000. But he still ran for $1,595 at 5.2 yards a carry at 32 years of age. That's what makes that guy a stud. What a stud football player Derrick Henry is. First ballot Hall of Famer. There's Barkley, man. Like many Eagle players, Barkley's 25 season wasn't as nearly as good as 24. His rushing yards fell off from 2,005 to 1,400. He didn't have 1,400 yards last year. His yards per carry went from 5.9 yards a carry to 4.1, ranking him 33. The poor line play contributed to some of his play. Number 47, one of the top 40 players in the league. Congratulations, Saquon Barkley. Here's my boy Derwin James. Man, I love that Charger at number 50. As we move on, Jordan Love at 51. Trent McDuffie, told you this kid would be a superstar. God, all the players that we suggested to you to go in the draft have turned out to be superstars. Okay? Okay? This is the biggest lie on the planet. He doesn't always fumble. He always fumbles is bullshit. That's a stupid dude. Here, Derrick Henry in fumbles. Look at but to make your boy Barkley sound better, compared to him, Barkley's a stiff. So fumbles. Here's what he's had in the last 4 years. He's had 7 fumbles in 4 years. But get this, folks. He carries the ball 349 times, 350 times, 347 times, 378 times, 301 times. Come on, man. Like, kid, get your shit together. Stupid take. My God. There's Quinnen Williams at number 54. Was traded from the Jets to the Cowboys during the season and quickly helped upgrade the Dallas defense. He is really good against the run and can rush the passer. Truly an elite player at number 54. Let's go. There's Jared Goff at 57. There's CeeDee Lamb at number 60. Let's see here. When's the next? There's A.J. Brown at number 64. What did I say about A.J.? He was traded from the Eagles to the Patriots last month, giving him a chance to play in a more pass-friendly offense. He had 78 catches and 7 touchdowns last season, but his yards per catch dropped from 16.1 to 12.9. We expect a bounce-back season for A.J. Brown. There you go. Let's see here. What number are we at? We're at 64. There's Pickens at 66. There's Jared. Look at Josh. Look at Jaden Daniels sitting at 69. There's Caleb Williams at 60 or at 70. Chris Olave at number 70. Where's Sam Darnold? 70. There's Jalen Carter. His play didn't reach the level many expected last season, so this is a big year for him. He could be the league's best interior defender if he stays focused on his craft. Damn. So if you're engaged, I mean, you're a good player. Sills, that's exactly why I excuse the fumbles, because he's been consistently dominant, even with a ton of carries. Of course. You carry the ball 200 times and fumble the ball 4 times. That's not good. You carry the ball 700. You carry the ball 378 times. You are the offense. Let's go here. Cooper DeJean at 74. He followed his rookie season with another impressive year in 25. He excelled in the slot in Vic Fangio's scheme. He can also play outside if need be. Cooper DeJean, 74. Brock Purdy at 75. Let's see here. Baker Mayfield at number 80. At 2024 was a big season. Mayfield battled through injuries in both himself and several of his offensive line teammates in 25. He wasn't the same player he was the year before. His numbers all came down, but the exceptional talent is there at number 80, Baker Mayfield. Let's see here. Joe, there it is. At number 84, and I haven't read this yet. At number 84, Jalen Hurts. He's another Eagle player who didn't play well in 2025 and didn't as good as he did a few years back. But he's still one of the top. Oh, excuse me. My bad. I'm reading the wrong one. After leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl and a Super Bowl victory the year before, Hurts saw his play decline dramatically. But he did throw for a career-high 25 passes. He wasn't as effective as a runner as he's been in previous seasons. Zach Bond at 85. Where the hell? What we got going here? Anybody else? So what do they have Jalen Hurts ranked in quarterbacks? So Stafford's 1. Josh Allen, number 2. Joe Burrow, 3. These look right. Mahomes, 4. All right. Lamar, 5. All right. Dak Prescott, 6. Of course. Jordan Love, 7. All right. I'm not really a Love fan. At number 8, Jared Goff. At number 9, Drake May. Number 10, Justin Herbert. At number 11, Trevor Lawrence. At number 12, Jaden Daniels. At number 13, Caleb Williams. At number 14, Sam Darnold. At number 15, Brock Purdy. At number 16, Baker Mayfield. And at number 17, Jalen Hurts. That's about right. The 17th best quarterback in pro football. Based off of the last couple of years? Yeah. I think that's appropriate. I think that's not disrespect. That's real, dude. That's complete real. Right? Sills, that's exactly why. We got that with the excuse fumbles. Okay. 17? Yeah, that sounds right. But remember something too. Okay? You don't have to be an elite player to win a Super Bowl. What was Dak rated? 6th. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. The 6th best quarterback. Yeah. You don't have to be elite to win Super Bowls. I've been trying to tell you that. It's okay if he's at 17. The 17th best quarterback in pro football won a Super Bowl? That's not a shocker. Is it playing the game? The football, is it playing the game? The football, the win, when it comes to a stat thing, you play to win the game. Dude, they're ranking talent. You missed the point. Nobody's saying you don't want to win games. They're ranking talent. Ranking talent and giving a quarterback the win total is where you get clouded. Those guys are ranking the best football players in the league, not the guys on the best teams. That's why Jamar Chase is at the top of the wide receiver. You're missing the point. Pete Prisco and CBS is ranking the best football players. Winning a Super Bowl doesn't mean you're the best football player. It has nothing to do with being the best player. Myles Garrett is the best example of this. Again, talent doesn't win you Super Bowls. It helps. You could be the most talented guy in NFL history and not have won a Super Bowl like Dan Marino. Dan Marino is one of the most talented players in pro football history. He didn't win a Super Bowl. Okay? Both things are true. Seals, have you noticed that the top 20 rushers of all time, most of them made it in the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl? NFC has been known for that. Here, get this. Let me see what Senor's dumb take is. Sills thinks talent wins Super Bowls. No, I don't. All the other teams that have a bunch of lower talent that win Super Bowls don't matter. No, you don't have to be elite to win the Super Bowl. You've proved it, and so have the Seahawks. You've proved it twice. You don't have to have an elite guy at the position. It's been a story in the NFL forever. Bro, you're mad at a list that people around the NFL pretty much are in line with on where they see Jalen Hurts on that list. Is he a top 100 player in the league? Absolutely. Is he one of the top 17 players at quarterback? Yeah, I think he is at 17. Top 15, top 20? Yeah. Is he a top 10? Absolutely not. He will never be in that category, even with a better resume. Again, as a fan, You want the resume. And I get that. I'm not shitting on the resume. Kenneth Walker won the Super Bowl. Not a single person in this chat would take him over Derrick Henry or Otis Anderson or Barry Sanders. Of course not. Of course not. Seals, this list is trash. Jared Goff over Herbert. Let me see. Let me go to the quarterback list. Yeah, that wouldn't be my lineup. My lineup would be Stafford, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Dak. Yeah, like Herbert on talent. Caleb Williams is not a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. He's a more gifted athlete. Like here, Stafford will go down as one of the greatest passers. He's kind of like a modern day Dan Marino. Okay? The way he throws the football. Josh Allen is one of the most gifted players since John Elway. Same with Lamar. Burrow is exceptional in the pocket. Mahomes is an outlier. Dak is like, can I tell you who I would compare? Hey, Bob Brown, are you in here? I would compare Dak Prescott to like a Phillip Rivers. Somebody like that. What's Phillip Rivers' postseason record? Let's take a look. Phillip Rivers' postseason record. Postseason record. He's 5-7. He's like Phillip Rivers. Dude, Jared Goff has got a good postseason record. I mean, he's played well in the postseason. Jared Goff's postseason record. Postseason record. He's 5-5. Let's do this. Yeah, again, that list is talking about the most talented players. The most talented players. Okay? So I've heard Manning and Aikman say, if I'm coaching a quarterback and trying to work on his mechanics, I tell them to put the Tame of Marino on. Whoever said that about it, dude, you don't want your quarterback ever to play like Hurts. You want your quarterback to think like Hurts. That's what you want your quarter. You know what? If you could ever put Jalen Hurts' brain inside of Dak's ability, you would have the perfect quarterback. Seals, I don't know why Philly fans get caught up with where Jalen is ranked. I know they do, and that's why I brought it up. Long as that dude wins, and doesn't be the reason that they lose. I don't care. I could care less where he's ranked. I'm a Jalen. Dude, but that's, Donnell, that's a perfect way of thinking that. Okay? Get this. Here's a great example of Ty ignoring what his own team is doing. Okay? Hey, let's throw for 4,000 yards and not win a Super Bowl. Bozo Sileo. No, you should say Nick Sirianni. Remember what I said yesterday. I'm with Joe Krause. I'm not picking you to win 8 games because you got lesser talent. I'm picking you because you've got a wrong direction. You should just stick with what you're doing. I agree with you, Ty. I don't know why you're doing that, but you're ignoring it. This is what they're going to try to do this year. You can do all the shit you want, bro. And by the way, that's not my fucking list. Man, get that fucking out of here. Don't mix nothing of Dak with my quarterback. Are you crazy? All I'm doing is reading what national people and Everyone around the NFL thinks Dak's a better quarterback, dude, in the pocket. And by the way, Dak's got no problem with the Eagles. Dak's got problems with Green Bay and San Francisco. He has no problem with you. Dak Prescott doesn't have a problem with the Eagles. He has no problem with you. His problems are with other teams. Dak has no problem with you. Based on what? Where in the world does Dak ever struggle against you? Like, never. Seals, would you say Allen is more mobile? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. No question about it. Seals, Herbert is one of the top 5 most talented quarterbacks in the leagues. He's just probably some of the worst set of offensive Dude, I completely agree with you on that. This is why this year I'm picking him as my dark horse to win the most valuable player award. Seals, I think Dak would be more like Flacco without the Ravens defense. Maybe. That's not an off the cuff take. You take Dak, I'll take Hurts. Watch you fail when it matters. I'll tell you what, dude. If you switch those two teams up, you put Hurts on that Cowboy team, he going nowhere. Same way Dak isn't. However, like I said, if you could put Jalen Hurts' brain with Dak's ability, you'd have the perfect quarterback. You would have the perfect quarterback. I've said it before. I think Jalen Hurts sees the game better than a lot of players out there. His ability is nowhere near those guys. And by the way, every year he stops running, he'll be a lesser of a quarterback. I'll tell you what, too, Marsh, he keeps running less, he'll be even lesser of a quarterback. Sills, this just goes to show you how small-minded this fan base is when it comes to Hurts. I'm a Pats fan, but could admit that Aaron Rodgers is more talented than Tom Brady. That's not a debate. That's not a debate. Absolutely true. But Brady is brilliant in how he sees the game. So if Dak was in Philly, he'd still have AJ. That's correct. AJ Brown would never have left Philly if Dak Prescott was in Philadelphia. We might not have the championship, but AJ would have his numbers. I think you're right, Bob. And get this, and to the point of Hurts' side in that debate on Dak, there's no doubt. Hurts in a clutch moment versus Dak in a clutch moment, there's no sample size to prove that Dak has ever done that in a moment when needed. There's no doubt. This is a talent conversation. And what Pete Prisco did is a talent evaluating thing. But you get butthurt because you want to add the resume, okay? And you want to add the team accomplishments, which is whatever. And DFW, I see you slick jabs. Cowboys suck so badly. You're here every day with us, you chump. Marsh. Off the top rope, Marshall. One of my favorite people, Danelle. Thank you, Bob. Correct. Stills, every time, I'm going to get back to you, bro. Promise you. I'll get back to you, Danelle. Stills, are you taking Burrow over Mahomes and Lamar as a talent? Oof. I'm not taking any of those names over Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry, I am not. I am not taking anybody over Mahomes. Lamar versus Burrow now? I'm going to take Burrow because Burrow is more, in my opinion, of an elite player. Okay? In the pocket. I think he's more elite than what I think Lamar's come a long way in how he throws the football. But Sills, I'm not worried about Jalen's inability. I just know giving him a competent, offensive-minded coach, you'll win a lot with him, including a Super Bowl. And you've got the sample size to prove it. That's not a bad take. It's actually a solid take. Yes. Okay. Here, look at this. Oh, wait, where's this? Dude thinks Mahomes is still 2022 Mahomes. Mahomes is done based on 1 year. What a fucking idiot. 1 year. Well, then your guy's finished. And Ben finished for 2 years, if that's the case. Dude, the guy has been below average 2 years in the pocket. 2 years. 18 touchdowns and that bullshit of last year. Mahomes went through 7 consecutive years of AFC Championship play and 5 Super Bowls, and now he's done. What an idiot. Well, bro, then your guy blows dog if Mahomes is done. You know what? That's another good take. Let's see something here. Let's see where Patrick Mahomes is here. I'll bet you Patrick Mahomes is 30 years old. Let me see. Is Patrick 30 years old? Let's see how old he is. He's 30. Let's see how old Hurts is. I think Hurts is, 28? Let's see here. Jalen Hurts. Let's see. How old is he? I think he's 28. He's 27. When will he be 28? Let's see here. When will Hurts be 28? Jalen Hurts. What will this guy? August 7th. So he'll be 28 years old when the season starts. So Mahomes is probably a year and a half older, and he's done. What a douchebag. He's done. Okay? Dude, stop talking about Mahomes and Hurts in the same breath, please. You embarrass yourself. Jalen isn't the guy to carry their team every week, but he makes the right plays and protects the ball. He's not a 35 to 40 attempt dude. Correct. Okay? Let's see. Look at this. Blueprint is out. Well, then I'll tell you what. The blueprint is out clearly on Jalen Hurts. You know what it is? Make him throw the ball. They proved that last year. When they couldn't run it, run the ball or throw the ball. They couldn't. 23rd. Talk about blueprint. Hey, stop the run game. Run game stopped, your quarterback stinks. Oh, man. Perfect. The Eagles had no business losing to the 49ers. The 49ers just ran into a better Seahawks team. Yeah, they ran into the Super Bowl. I can't believe he's 30 already. What a resume, too. You know? What a resume. Hey, look at this. So he's going to dismiss 16-5 because they missed the playoffs last year. 16-5. Patrick Mahomes is. Hey, dude, wake me up when that guy gets to 10 playoff wins before you get to 16-5. He's 30 years old, and he's got 16 playoff wins, but he's finished. Yeah. Like Brady was finished. Sills, people said that's very good take. Sills, people said Brady was done after the ACL injury in his wild card round loss against the Ravens in 29. How'd that turn out? These clowns don't know anything about football. Because they're Jalenites. Sills, this hurts the Michael Jordan. Oh, my God. Hey, dude, Nad. Jalen Hurts is the Steve Kerr of the NFL. The book is out on Dak, too. Ask him to win a playoff game. He stinks. Okay. Well, here's the new playbook on the Eagles. Make Jalen throw the ball. I'll tell you what, Marsh. This coming season, if Barkley doesn't play well, you're going to win 8 games. Hurts might even throw for $4,000. But you're going to win 8 games if that guy doesn't get back to 1,400 yards. The season is based on Barkley. It's not based on, it's based on Barkley, not Jalen Hurts. Let's see here. And Barkley 1 year older. Cover 3 might as well. I watched Dak score 5 touchdowns against a Brady-led team, and Brady retired after. Dak played well when the defense did as well. You got to win games, though, against teams like Green Bay, dude. You can't have a home field game and then blow up. You can't. Okay? You can't have that. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's go to Force. We haven't done you in a bit. Oh, we did you a couple notorious. 2 of those losses. One was the 2021 playoff and 23 without AJ. Team was behind 17-0 at halftime. By the way, they've never really won a road game, by the way, in the Jalen Hurts era during the playoffs. A Super Bowl, obviously. You could throw that into the conversation if you want, but they haven't won a playoff game yet on the road, which is kind of wild. That shows you the dominance of their football team. You don't mention Hurts was 9th in TD passes last year. Oh, so he wants to go down that lane. Okay. 9th in TD passes. You want to go down that lane? Let's do it. So he wants to go down that lane. That Hurts was 9th in TD passes. Not a problem. Let's take a look at this. What was Jalen last year in passing attempts? Hurts was 17th. Completions. Hurts was 18th. Completion percentage. Hurts was 19th. Yards per game. Hurts was 19th. TDs. There he is. Jalen was 9th, tied for 9th in passing touchdowns. In every other category, he's 19th. How about yards total? Hurts was 17th. You're right, guy, but you were 9th. What's wrong with that take, though? I agree Barkley's part of this team. I got one better for you. If AJ played better, we would have another chip. But wait a minute, Marsh. Is it the coordinator sucks or is it AJ sucks? AJ was 3rd in least drops. Okay? Which is it? The coordinator sucked? So, Marsh, let me get this right. Allen got the head coach fired in Buffalo, but Hurts didn't get the head coach fired or the offensive coordinator fired in Philly. Not him. Is that right? So you use one metric for Allen, but Jalen didn't get Kevin Patullo fired? Is that right? Okay. You talk about swinging narratives. So Marshall's blaming the play of AJ last year and the coordinator for Hurts' shitty play. Okay. And a banged-up O-line. AJ loafed. We all saw it. Coordinator sucked too. Both can be true. What about the third one? Your quarterback blew. Or was it because the quarterback was given poor plays? So if the quarterback has been given poor plays to call, you don't think that affects the passing game? I got it. This is an excuse machine right here. These are all excuses. Look at them. Every one of them. No accountability for bad play last year. It's Kevin Patullo. It's AJ. Two guys aren't here. And Jalen Hurts was perfect. And he was a great player last year. And he was on a bad team with a bad O-line, a bad coordinator, and a guy who loafed. Well, dude, you're the fucking quarterback of the team. That's your job to pull people together. Is it not? Or what? You're just a company stiff. I'm hoping Downs is the next Woodson in Dallas. Team hasn't had a great safety since that could be a hybrid safety. He was a great football player. Okay. Let's see here. Patullo deserves all the blame he gets. Paid $50 million a year, all on Patullo. I know. Isn't that wild? The $50 million guy doesn't get any blame in here. Well, he does. Now, some of you are smart. So, no. Most of you are smart. 90% of you are. There's the guys like this and these guys and some of these other guys that fucking don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Never will, actually. But it's great, Father, to be able to bring those guys in because it just shows you the incompetent brain messages that go through their ears thinking they know football when they don't. KP was not the fit for the job. Correct. That's on Nick. You don't hire an OC that's never called plays in the middle of a Super Bowl window, which is wild. No. 160. Because you're here again. 160. 160. Get it right, guy. Even with a better OC in 25, they were spent from the 2024 run. Okay? Jurgens Dickinson were beat up. The offense moves overall. Not the same results. Patullo, was it Patullo's fault that Jalen went the entire half without a throw for a single passing yard in 2 different games? Isn't that wild? The guy had 2 games where he didn't complete a pass. Elite. All right. Since some of the questions we asked you yesterday bothered the shit out of you, we came up with 5 more. Simple questions yesterday. People got twisted. Hey, Bob, could you believe it yesterday? We asked these simple questions, and everyone got so twisted. Like, do you think Alex Hunt pushes Nolan Smith? Hey, Nolan Smith, what are you gripping on Howie? But I'm like, simple questions. How good would Makai Lemon be? Got people's pennies in a bind. So what we thought we'd do is give you a few more here. Oh, and by the way, Danelle, was that you that said we should match up the defenses versus the offenses that are on the Eagles schedule this year? We've done that too. Okay? And we've done that too. Sills, McDermott got fired because he had several years of underperforming with Allen. McDermott was scapegoated because the team didn't build for Allen. KP was inexperienced and in over his head. Well, you've done it again. Hey, Bob, so you're going to try to tell me that Sean Mannion's not in over his head? Why is Sean Mannion not in over his head? Tell me this. How is Sean Mannion not in over his head? Why is Sean Mannion not in over his head? March. So I'm not smart because I seen an AJ loaf with my own eyes. I seen that coordinator call for Verts. How about the quarterback, too, calling out the coordinator and not taking accountability himself when he needed a play to win the game? Come on. So wait a minute. Listen what Marshall just said here. It's a complete indictment on Jalen Hurts. This take is a complete indictment on Jalen Hurts. And here's why. So let me read it all. So I'm not smart enough because I seen an AJ loaf with my own eyes. I seen a coordinator call for Verts when he needed a play to win the game. Come on, Sills, you know. I'm going back and forth with you. Okay, so Jalen Hurts comes to the line of scrimmage. He sees the play that Kevin Patullo called, and that dumbass runs the play anyway, knowing full well the play won't work, or the quarterback's not smart enough to understand coverages. Which is it, Marsh? Truly a great quarterback would come to the line of scrimmage and do this. That play's not going to work. Let's audible out of it. Instead, your guy ran the fucking bad play. So he's not smart enough to see the coverages pre-snap. He ran it anyway. That's like saying, hey, my coach told me to run into the fire. And I know it's bad, but I'm going to run into the fire anyway. You don't change your course. You're going to run into the fire? So do you think Andy Reid says this numerous times? Mahomes will come to the line of scrimmage and change plays. And he'll change out of it and put the team in a better position. Shit, I would have rather have had you run the ball. So wait, Marsh, let's see what excuse you make for a guy going to the line of scrimmage and running into a fire, even when he knows the fire's there because the coach called it. Now I will agree with that. Okay, fair enough. We're getting somewhere. I dislike that highly about Hurts. I'm not talking about taking charge and taking command. Makes me mad. Furthermore, that may be the reason why him and AJ fell out. That's a great take. Got you. You're dead on. Okay? Yes. Yes. Marsh, you're right. You're right. Okay? You get to the line of scrimmage. And here's the one thing that I say. You get to the line of scrimmage, Jalen Hurts sees a bad play. He can't audible out of it, or does he not have the autonomy to do it? Most good quarterbacks and elite quarterbacks can audible out, right? So you're going to run him in there anyway. And I'm not picking on you here, Marsh. Seals, KP was thrown into the deep end and couldn't swim. Mannion was thrown into the deep end with lesser players. They're hoping he can swim. They are hoping Manning learned something in Green Bay. A lot of hoping in there. I see 1, 2 hopings. Not a lot I know there, Bob. Bob, I don't see you use the word I know. I see hope. Hope's not a strategy. Exactly, Sills. I remember Brady went to the line of scrimmage under center against the Steelers with 9 in the box. He automatically checked out of the play and went to empty formation, picking up the first down. Have you ever really seen Hurts do that? Except 22. Marsh, 22, he did that. Do you know how many times in 2022 I said this about Jalen? That guy, you know what? When it was 3rd and long, and it was a couple times in 22, it was 3rd and long, couple times in many games, I kept saying this, that guy's going to pick that 3rd and 11 up. He's going to pick that 3rd and 11 up. He's going to break people's back with them wheels of his. Sure enough, opened up the passing game, and when that guy runs like that, I tell you, 22, and I said it that year, Jalen Hurts was a weapon. I have not seen that quarterback but a spot full of times. In that 22 season, he was electric. And he was electric on third down that year. Let me see something. What were the Eagles in 2022? Because Barkley wasn't there. What were the Eagles on third down? Eagles ranking offense on third down. The Eagles, oh, no, in 2022. Third. They were third in the NFL on third down. Last year, they were the worst on third down because the quarterback's not making plays with his legs. It's the same passing game, except for Hurts running. That's why they've got to try to get the passing game going. Dude, I mean, how many OCs are they going to blame? Nad, the problem with the Eagles and their setup is Nick. Nick is not a play-calling head coach. You're going to fall in the same category as Baltimore, Buffalo. Let's see. Do you know? But hey, Nad, why do you think they named Joe Brady head coach? Anybody? Why do you think they named Joe Brady head coach in Buffalo? By the way, Joe Brady has worked with Joe Burrow, too, when he was at LSU. Why do you think Joe Brady was named head coach in Buffalo? What else? What else? Okay? You're getting there. So he's not going to be cherry-picked by another team and to get him away from the familiarity that Denny says that Josh has with him. That's why he was named head coach. Because he calls plays, the familiarity. Allen likes him. All of that made him an MVP. All of that. And he's not going to be hired by another team. Okay? In Philadelphia, you're always going to be this. Fired, hired. Fired, hired. What do you think of this? What do you think the chances that the Philadelphia Eagles next year have a new OC? I say it's 90. Okay, wait a minute here. So, hey, Kyle, you know I went to Miami, right? Give me the percentages on how many OCs that Jalen Hurts has had in the last 5 years. So he's had Nick as a starter. And I won't even go back to Press Taylor. Okay? Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore, Kevin Patullo, and now Sean Mannion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 offensive coordinators heading into his 6th year. You tell me what the percentage is that you're going to have a new offensive coordinator in his 7th year if he's still here. 90%? 100%? What do you think? 100%? Get this. And here. And this is why you've got inconsistency with Lamar Jackson too. Hello. 99% Jalen Hurts will have a new coordinator next year. 99% chance you're going to have a coordinator. 99%. Hey, do you think there's going to be a new coordinator? No. Based on what? The 6 you hired? I'm banking on the Eagles doing better than expected. And Nick being kicked out. Nick is the problem, Sills. Because I don't hate that take. Dude, if Shane Steichen had been, let me ask you this. If the Eagles had fired Nick Sirianni and given Shane Steichen the head coaching job in 2022, would Jalen Hurts be a top 5 quarterback today? And I'll give you my answer. I'll say it again. If they had fired Nick after the 22 season, when they went to the Super Bowl, and given the job to Shane, would Jalen Hurts be a top 5 quarterback today? Yes or no? Would he be a top 5 quarterback? At least top 10? Okay, top 10. He'd definitely be in a better place. Oh, I think he – listen, if you play to his skill set, though, he would have been a top 5 quarterback. He'd have been a top 5 quarterback, dude. Because he would have played like Lamar Jackson, but won. He'd be a better passer. Correct. So according to him, Jalen's MVP season, Jalen Hurts would be benched if Shane Steichen was his head coach. Sills, to be fair, you can't blame Shane and Kellen taking – No. Hurts would be much more developed quarterback, Sills. That's a great take. Marsh, he'd be a top 5 guy. If you coached him the way – and by the way, don't tell me you wouldn't be winning with the number. Hey, think about this. Can you imagine Jalen Hurts, 22, playing like that in 23 and in 24 with Barkley in 24? You would have been talking about the greatest football team in the Super Bowl era. If you put that 22 Hurts on that 24 team, you'd have beat teams by 30 points. But you were so one-dimensional and you were so electric in the one, and you didn't have to do anything else. Can you imagine if you could have? Dude, and there it is. You might have had a three-peat. This is what I've been trying to tell you on why the consistency issue with the quarterback. Dude, it's not that I think the guy sucks. I kid you guys sometimes by saying stiff in this. I will tell you this. If you had given that job to Shane, they would have developed him to his skill. And he would have been 22 and 23 and 22 and 24, and you couldn't stop that guy. Now here's the point. By the way, watch this take. Show you something here. No guarantee Steichen as a head coach would have had any effect on the development of Hurts. Folks, watch this. Okay. Let's see. By the way, Kyle, how long has Shane Steichen been the head coach? How long has he been the head coach of the Colts? Let's take a look. 23? 2023. Let's see here. Let's see here. Offense. Let's see here. 25. Offensive rankings. Let's see here. Here we go. So let's go here. 2025. What were the Colts ranked? Who was the quarterback last year? Daniel Jones for a couple games. And I can't remember. Phillip Rivers came in. The Colts had the 9th best total offense in pro football. I don't even know how many games. They were number 9 in passing with a 45-year-old Phillip Rivers and a reclamation project in Daniel Jones. Are you trying to tell me that Shane Steichen, who had great success with Hurts in 22, and last year had a 44-year-old quarterback and a reclamation project in Daniel Jones, who, by the way, just got a contract extension, they had the 9th best passing attack in pro football, and he's trying to tell you that he would have no impact on Hurts now? Okay, that's got to be an anomaly because they haven't really had good quarterbacks in what do you call it, in Indianapolis. They haven't. Okay. So in 2023, 24, I think Gardner Minshew and Anthony Richardson were the quarterbacks. I can't remember. They were 12th in total offense. They were 12th. So let's see when he got the job in 23, what kind of impact Shane Steichen has had on his offense. So they were 9th and 12th. And they were 14th in total offense in 23 when he got there and turned that program around. And he was doing it with bum quarterbacks. And you're trying to tell me that guy had a better offense than the Eagles with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? I mean, make that make sense. Dual threat quarterbacks don't last either, dude. All right. So, we've got questions. Yesterday, we asked you some questions, and many of you got a little butthurt over it. So we're going to do this again here, and we're going to ask different questions. Okay? All right. So, how long, okay? How long will it take Jalen Hurts and Sean Mannion and the offense to come together this season? How long will it take? How long? Yes, Sil's still looking for a 4th string Pro Bowl DT. No, I'm just looking for somebody better than Ty Robinson. Guy still hangs on that. Yeah, you and your great depth. Ty Robinson can't even get on the fucking active roster, guy. That's your backup. How about that? Your backup right now can't get on the roster a year ago. Now he is. All right. Go get him, dude. How about this one, Brandon? How about a guy who can make the roster? I say 6 to 8 weeks. So wait a minute. Let me ask you this. 6 to 8 weeks. Okay? 6 to 8 weeks. Kyle, did the offense ever get together last year? Did it ever get together last year? in any way, shape, or form. Did it ever get anywhere near it? Okay. No. But 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. Here's what I have a problem with some of you. Who? You mean the guy that's never played a down of football? Okay. By week 8, we'll be calling for the OC's job. My Cowboys getting ready to cook something while you people crying over here. I love it. Yeah, I was like, is that the same dude? So here, how many weeks? I really don't know. Okay, I really don't. I don't know. Because you didn't do it last year. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to do it this year. Hey, Sills, Cliff Kingsbury injured. Offense produced more. If not, it not hard to do today. Hey, Sills, Cliff Kingsbury injured offense produced more. It not hard to do. Okay? Let's see here. Sills, what do you think happens if Hurts has his best year in the air, but the team only wins 7 games? What would happen? I think they'll give him an extension. If they see the off, that would mean the defense stunk. And the defense fell apart. And you had injuries in the O-line. And Jalen Carter did not play well. And that's what that would mean. And your depth would be stretched and tested. That's what I think it would mean. I think they would give him a contract extension. All right. So here's the next one. Will Barkley have help in 2026? Who's your depth at running back to help Saquon Barkley? And do you feel comfortable? Okay. Sills, I don't care how many weeks. What I'm more concerned that he picks it up at all and doesn't revert back to the old style. The more predictable side is what you're saying. Yes. Hurts is the depth at running back. Okay. So Tank Bigsby. Let me see something about Tank. You guys said something about Tank. So let's go here with Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby. Here he is. There's your backup. And here's Saquon Barkley's help. He's only 24. And he had 58 carries for 344 yards. By the way, he had 5.9 yards a carry last year. And the Eagles only ran him in 16 games. Now, he came over, I think, during the season. He only had 58 carries. I might want to up that. So let's say we are playing the Texans. Where's the weakness on add-on defense? Now, Sills, let's say we're playing the Texans. Where's the weakness on the Texans defense? They're great at every level. The Texans were exceptional at every level last year. Every single level, they were great with that defense. It was historic. It was a better season last year for the Texans than the Eagles had the previous year. They had more yards per game as an average, or less, I should say. I mean, they were exceptional everywhere. Let's see here. Number one in total. Whew, man, these numbers are 185 yards passing, they only surrendered. Rushing, they gave up 90. Scoring, they were second. They only gave up 17 points a game. Red zone. Red zone defense. Red zone defense. Third down on, they were sixth on third downs. That's exceptional. But to me, now the defense may be different, but red zone, the Texans were 16th. That's their only weakness, is inside the 20s. And that happens to be where the Eagles are really good. So that, to me, would be something to keep an eye on. Texans had the best defense since the 2009 Jets, I believe. Exceptional. Cowboys 25 division titles, Eagles 13. Damn, Google out there cooking the Eagles. Dude, I talk football with you for years, though. Sills, is it true that the Texans are extending Stroud? It seems that they're extending Stroud, and they want a deal done before training camp. Super Bowls are team accomplishments, and I'm not putting Josh ahead of Mahomes on any list. Dude, it's a talent list. Mahomes is a more talented player than, Allen is a more talented player than Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers is a more talented player than Tom Brady. That question is not really about who the best quarterback is. It's who the best and most talented player is. That's what that says. The best players in the league. Okay? Not the best quarterback in the league. The top 100 NFL players. Myles Garrett is by far the best player in pro football. By the way, I think it is by far. It's a different conversation. The best quarterback, the most clutch quarterback. Who's the best talent? Allen's a better talent. That doesn't mean you win with that. I saw that they may not extend Stroud, but I could be wrong if they do. I think they're working on a contract extension right now, according to that guy in Houston we had on. Stroud to be extended. What's that guy's name that was on here? Let's see here. So the quarterback, now here, according to the Houston Chronicle, Stroud and the Texans are not close on a contract. Instead, the team has to exercise the fifth-year option, keeping him in Houston through at least the 27 season. Current contract status is locked in through 27, and the team is currently having conversations about a long-term contract deal. So we'll see what happens. Cowboys fans, and here, why I should extend getting extended if the stats suck. Well, no. His stats suck, but he wins. Like your boy. Every year he's been in the league, he's made the playoffs. Isn't that your rule? He's made the NFL playoffs every year he's been. If it's that stuck, according to you, he should get a contract extension. No? Let's see. He's 28-18. He's made the playoffs every year he's been in the league. He's a former rookie of the year. According to you, all he does is win to get to the playoffs. He's not missed the playoffs. Okay? I know it doesn't. I know. That's why he doesn't have an extension yet. Oh, no. They are going by my rule. They're not going by the fact he's won. Think about it, senor. They were coming out of the whole Deshaun Watson mess. They're 28-18 under him. Why haven't they extended him? Because his stats blow. Yes. I never said that. He's made the playoffs every year he's been there. Been the rookie of the year. He's Jalen Hurts. Hey, still, so many quarterbacks actually beat the Chiefs in the playoffs in the last 5 years. Eagles are 1. Who else beat them? In the last 5, it's got to be the Patriots. And maybe Burrow? Does that sound right? Bengals? The Bengals? The Patriots? And the Eagles. I think there's only 3 teams in 5 years that have beaten them. Yeah. Let's see here. I was thinking Buffalo, but I don't think they didn't. No. Yeah, and Brady was, I believe that was an AFC championship game. I think that was Brady's last Super Bowl in New England when they did that. Because they went to 3 Super Bowls in a row. So, I was talking about the AFC championship game, but you're talking about the Bucs in the Super Bowl. The Bucs in the Super Bowl, okay. Let's see. Well, I mean, Manning couldn't beat Brady. What was here? Let me look that up. Let me get to my questions again. What was Peyton Manning's record versus Tom Brady? Brady was 11-6 versus Peyton Manning. 11-6. You ran into Tom Brady. Brady is 18-19 AFC Championship game. Brady in 2020-21 with the Bucs. Burrow with Bengals 21-22. Hurts with the Eagles 24-25. That sounds right. So Bucs, Patriots, Bengals, and Eagles have been the teams that have beaten Mahomes in the last 5 years in the playoffs. Actually, I think that can't be in the last 5 years. That's got to be in the last 7 years because they lost in the AFC Championship game. I mean, they went to the AFC Championship game 3 years in a row, went to 3 Super Bowls 3 years in a row. Oh, Super Bowls, though. I got it. I got it. And the guys in here are telling me the Chiefs are finished. Look at this run. So from 2000, let's see, when did Andy Reid get there? Here's Andy Reid's record since he's gotten to Kansas City. Andy Reid has not made the playoffs 2 years in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years. He's missed the playoffs twice. And in that time, he lost in a wild card, lost in a wild card in 15, lost a divisional game in 16, lost a wild card in 17, lost a conference championship in 18, won the Super Bowl in 19, lost the Super Bowl in 20, lost the conference championship to Burrow, won the Super Bowl in 22, won the Super Bowl in 22, lost the Super Bowl to the Eagles, didn't make the playoffs. That is quite a run for Andy Reid. That is quite a run. Quite a run. I completely agree. Mahomes will win another Super Bowl. And he'll become one of the only guys to have 4 more Super Bowls. Yes. I don't think he's catching Brady, but he'll win 1 or 2 more. He's already got 3. I mean, and 3 MVPs. Here. See this one here? Reid is a better coach than Bill. Bill is a better team builder than Andy. Andy Reid is a better offensive-minded coach than Bill, but Andy's not a better coach offensively than Bill is defensively. Bill's the greatest defensive-minded coach ever lived. His game plans are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I mean, Reid is as great an offensive coach. He's not better than Bill as a defensive-minded guy. Belichick's the greatest defensive-minded coach of all time. And Bill finds better free agents. Reid is a heck of a offensive-minded guy. But Bill Belichick built that Patriot dynasty by himself. No one helped him. He did that. He picked the players. He found the Amendolas and the Edelmans. He's the guy that found a 6th-rounder in Brady and developed him. He's that guy. He's the guy that made the decision to move off of Bledsoe and go with him. Bill cost his team a Super Bowl benching a corner. I know. He should have 7. Actually, 9 instead of 8. I think he's got, let me see, 2 with the Giants and 6 with the he should have 10 almost Super Bowls. Yeah. Bill's game plan is why we won. The greatest plan that's ever been conceived. Rushing 3 guys on the Kelly gun. Jim Kelly came in here and talked about that game plan. By the way, got a really cool little nugget for you. And I want you guys to know that we got somebody special coming up. You guys remember Mark Trestman? So Mark Trestman's got a book coming out, Teaching the Game. And in it, Tony Dungy, Andy Reid, Steve Young, Ernie Accorsi, and all of them talk about how you build an offensive game plan and how Trestman was one of the best. We're going to get him back on here. And I can't post that yet because the book's not out. It's 10 days it's out. I guarantee it goes to bestseller. So many rules were changed because of Bill. Dude, how about this one, Bottom? the substitution changes and the substitutions that you have and packaging and substitutions was all changed because of Belichick. Remember that game they had against the Ravens? And they were doing those, what John Harbaugh thought was illegal substitutions? Belichick was just taking advantage of the rule at the time, which allowed him multiple substitutions. So these guys were coming in and out, and they were just going in and out. Now you have to check with the ref to check in to get in on who's coming out. The doubting Colts wide receivers, they didn't know what they were looking at in substitution packaging. That's exactly correct. Let's see here. Okay. Awesome. Love it. It ain't cheating. Get away with it. I love that. Here he is. There's Snowflower. Hey, cheating. I love Snowflower. I'm going to start calling Reyes Snowflower. He's cheating. The integrity of the game. This guy sounds like Wyndham Clark having Mayfield snag his old lady. That was really dope. Watching like Wyndham Clark, the winner of the U.S. Open, complaining about Baker Mayfield snagging his old lady when he was at Oklahoma. There he is, the little Snowflower, sitting there in the snow with the sunshine on him. Little M. Reyes. Yeah, because I'm trying to go as feminine as I can for you there, honey. That's what we're going to do from Reyes from now on. What are you saying there, honey? Come on, honey. Yeah, starting to seem that way. Come on, sunshine. Come on, honey. All right. Got another one here for you. Then we're going to get into Danelle's question. I liked it, too. How much is AJ's loss? How much do you feel the loss of AJ is going to be felt this year? It's my daughter's name, jackass. Can we bring in Warren Moon to talk about transition to run and shoot from his CFL offense? Yeah. That's a great take, too. Let's see here. Yeah. No. How much do you think the Eagles are going to feel the loss of AJ this year? What do you think? How much the loss of AJ? What do you feel? There you go. Look at Reyes. 0. 0, man. Not at all. We're not going to feel the loss because you know why? Hollywood Jackson is going to take up for the role. Okay? Absolutely not. Troy Aikman's not better than Warren Moon. There you go. That's right. Hollywood Jackson is going to pick up the bond and pick up the role and pick up the weight for A.J. Brown. It's huge, Hills. Jalen lost the answer. He looks for 60% of the time. That's a great. How many passes? Hold on here for a minute. Of Jalen Hurts, 2,400 passing yards. Career passing yards. What percentage was thrown to AJ? Here's what you'll know. I never thought about looking this up. That means A.J. Brown accounted for approximately 37.3% of all passing yards from Jalen Hurts while A.J. Brown was on the field. That's the 24-25 season. Two thousand, 2024, 2025 seasons. Let's take career out of there. 37.3. Okay. Let's see what this is. In 2024, 37.2, and in 2025, 31.1. So 30% of the offense is going to have to be cut up with 5 dudes. Hey, Bob, almost 40% of the offense in Hurts's 2 years went to AJ. Let's see this. Let me ask the same questions. Let me take that out and put Devontae Smith. So get this. 25% went to Devontae. Hold on. 2024, 2024, 2025. %. 19% and 23%. Dude, you got a lot to make up with them dudes. Allen is not better than Mahomes. Allen's a better talent than Mahomes. Hey, Jay, is Aaron Rodgers a better talent than Tom Brady? Tom Brady tells you he is. Do you think he's a better talent? Do you think that Aaron Rodgers is a better talent than Tom Brady? Actually, it's not really close. Sills, the loss of AJ skill is huge. That said, if Jalen Hurts can embrace the opportunity to use all the tools in the offense, it might not be as bad. If Jalen Hurts was replacing AJ with Smitty, it will be bad. A-Rod's a better talent than Brady. Bro, it's a hard question. Who is a more skilled player as an athlete with that Patrick Mahomes body? Allen is a more skilled player and a more athletic player than Mahomes. That doesn't mean he's a better quarterback. You missed the point. As some of you do. You think because a guy, Caleb Williams is more athletic and more skilled than Tom Brady ever will be. Well, that doesn't mean really shit. That's what that Pete Prisco list means. Who's the best player in the league at his position? Watch this. I can't wait to read this. The advantage of not having a player that's there to benefit themselves cannot be understated. Yeah, when you have Patrick Mahomes and you've got Tom Brady as your signal caller, the motherfucker was using the media, making a distraction to get the ball to himself, even though we were winning. That's not debatable, and I agree with that. But you're making it sound like you've got some sort of offensive quarterback that could spread the ball around. Shit, dude. The way this is adding up, 64% of the passing offense went to two dudes. It went to Devontae Smith, and it went to A.J. Brown. Tight ends, backs, and other receivers picked up the other percentage there. Almost 40% of your offense went to one guy, and basically almost 30% went to the other guy. I mean, come on, man. That's 70% of your offense went to three guys or two guys. Hey, and as I keep telling people, 70% of your offense went to two dudes. Just because you've got five guys doesn't mean you're going to spread the ball around. And you never have. Maniac, me too. I thought that bitch would be higher. It arguably could have been open more if AJ played with the scheme instead of forcing the team. Wait a second. Guess what, Reyes? Tell me if I'm reading this right. I'm not going to kill you on this here. You tell me. They built the offense around the wide receiver and not the quarterback? Is that what you're saying? Reyes, is that what you're saying? It arguable could have been open more if AJ played with the scheme instead of forcing the team to make him the scheme. So you're saying they built the passing game around AJ? Well, the pass scheme, not the entire scheme. So you paid a guy $32 million to not build the scheme around a guy? You should be building the scheme around a guy. Why are you paying him $32 million? I mean, he's by far the better receiver and the better player. If you're paying a guy $32 million, don't you want to get him the majority of the catches? Why wouldn't the passing game go through him if you're paying him that money? Or are you paying him as a decoy? You people act like getting your best player the ball more is bad for some reason. Yeah, I don't get that. Good question, Sills. If you should be getting him $32 million, you want to pay him to make blocks. Okay? Well, but quite frankly, he's done that. Not half-ass play. Dude. He's making excuses again for Hurts' shitty play last year. That's his responsibility also to get Jalen to play better or AJ to play better. That's what $65 million a year players do. They take responsibility and they carry their football team and don't make excuses. That wasn't my on 4 verts and run myself. Hey, let me ask you this. AJ was giving up on, okay, so let me ask you this then, Reyes. On that 4 verts, when he came to the line of scrimmage, should he have not have audible out of that? Or should he have run that play anyway because the coaches called it? And who's on that? And whose responsibility is that? So when he went to the line of scrimmage, and if 4 verts wasn't the play, why did he run it? He's got the last call. He's the quarterback. He's on the field. He's going to see the defense. Why did he call it? Or I should say, why did he run it? If he knew that was a bad play, why did Hurts run the bad play? Why did he run it into a bad coverage? Why did he run it? Why did he audible? Why did he audible? Why didn't he audible at the line of scrimmage? What audibles are in that formation, and how do they project against defensive formation? The setup of the play comes from Patullo. Hurts has only so many tools that we didn't have 5 minutes. You get to the line of scrimmage, and if you think that play is not a good play, he ran it. He's just as accountable for running the play as Patullo is for calling it. True or false? Get this. That is called situational play calling. And that's why he was over his head that Nick hired. But Sean Mannion's different. I know. Hurts can't just call his favorite play. Some go to play the defense knows. So wait a minute. He went to the line of scrimmage. Did he not call that play? I'll take that back. Did he not run that play? He said fucking hike. Did he not? He said hike. Right? He said hike. Did he or did he not? Hike. Right? So he had to analyze it, and he gets to the line of scrimmage. He runs the play anyway, and then he turns around and says someone else called it. I don't think we need to see anything else here, man. Hurts has a hot road issue. He can't process audibles. Why the 49ers back out into coverage. Hey, get this. You trust your coaches or not, Sileo? What the fuck would he do? Renegade in this moment? You pay a guy, assumingly $65 million, to go to the line of scrimmage. And if a guy thinks that the defense is set up differently than what the play is on the side, hey, guys, do you think when fucking Doug Peterson had Nick Foles walk over and he had a ton of papers in his hand and he had a shitload of fucking plays to run on the goal line, and when Nick Foles went like this, Philly, what did Doug do? Run it. Run it. That wasn't off a play sheet. Run it. Okay, run it. And it was in a critical part of the game. Why not Philly, Philly? Let's go. That was the quarterback's decision to call that play, not Doug's. Can you imagine? Can't adjust. Doug Peterson was sitting there with plays in his hand. And Foles walks over and goes, he's got a play. You could tell he's talking to Frank, and they're going to run a play. Get this. I don't give a fuck where it is on the field. It's in a situation that the play caller has to trust the quarterback's decision-making on picking what play would work. And by the way, this dumbass doesn't remember, because I'm sure he doesn't, that was a critical part of the game that gave him the lead. Situational play calling. I think it's tougher to call plays. Get this. Let me go back to this guy. You see this, folks? Do you think a 2-yard line play in the Seahawks-Patriots game was the difference in that Patriots game when they ended up having an interception with Malcolm Butler that sealed it for the Patriots? Because the Patriots had known what the play was because they had practiced it. A 2-yard play was the difference in a Super Bowl. Come on, man. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Is it going to take time for the offense to completely understand 100% of the new West Coast style of offense? The fact that these new play calls will work in the middle of the field helps Hurts a lot. We shall see. Yeah, that's right. Hey, bro, I make people like you, Twiz, and everyone part of my programs. Like I said, I do 7 hours of programming a day. All good, my friend. And for 38 years. Reyes is a box of rocks. Peyton Manning waved off his sideline to go for it on 4th down against the Steelers in the 05-06 divisional round. Was he considered a renegade? Absolutely not. Sills, you think the Immaculate Reception is the best play in NFL history? I'll tell you what, it's one of the most controversial, but I'll also say this. I think that Eli Manning throw, I think that throw was one of them too. Let's see here. Peyton didn't call Vorverts. I don't think so. All right, my friends. Where's Donnell? Donnell, are you here? Where's my boy Donnell? Donnell came up. I love some of you guys because some of you in here are really smart on bringing up some topics. Where's my boy Donnell? Donnell, are you in here, man? There you go, Donnell. Donnell, this was your idea, right? Philly, yes. One of the top 5 plays of all time. Okay? All right. So, he came up with this, and I think this is you, my friend. Okay? I think this is you. The Eagle defense versus some of the offenses that you're going to see on your schedule this year. Okay? So, how good can this defense be this coming season? That was you, Donnell. Congratulations to you. I don't use really – well, I do. I'll take that back. some of the people that come in here. And by the way, you noticed that, and Danelle, you're not one of these guys. Okay? You're not one of these guys. But you see some of the really dumb people in here. They're some of my favorite people to go to because they just come in here just to make no sense. So that's cool. And those are some of my favorite folks. But you came up with a great one. Okay? And here, how good do you think this defense can be this coming season? She goes, do you think the end game with Carter's situation, I think that they're going to hold, I think he's going to hold out in training camp. I think you're going to have a mess on your hand. And I think he's going to play. And we'll see if he's ready for the season. And by the way, you won't be a top five defense if he's holding out there in training camp. So, but all that being said, it's June 26th. You open up with the Commanders. The Commanders last year, and I know that the offense is going to be completely different. And I'm going to do the same thing that I do with your guys. The Commanders have a brand new offensive coordinator. And I know James Jones is in here. James, I think that offense is going to struggle as well the first couple weeks, okay? So they were 22nd last year in total offense. The Philadelphia Eagles, in my opinion, will be the better unit going against the Commanders here. The question in this game, Danelle, is going to be this. Are you going to be able to contain? And how much is Jaden Daniels going to run? I think the one thing that the Eagles do exceptionally well, I think the Eagles, I really think that they run well. Okay? I really do. And by the way, I actually got a bunch of other topics here, and I'll give you one of them here. You think Tariq Woolen, Quinion Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean are going to be the best trio in the NFL in the secondary? There's a shot you may be. And it's going to all be on Woolen. If Woolen plays like he did his rookie year, you might have the best trio of secondary guys in the league. And that's where Fangio really wins, is in the passing game and pass defense. So if Tariq Woolen plays, okay, like he did his rookie year, you might have the best trio of DBs in the NFL. So, and I think that's going to play a factor in the Commander game. And I'll also say this in this Commander game with your defense. The key is going to be containing Jaden Daniels. And I really don't think that the Commanders really have a lot of offensive firepower. I mean, I'm not seeing it. So it's really going to come down to your run defense. And I don't know if the Commanders can run the ball against the Eagles. Not that the Eagles are not very good run defense-wise. But what they are great is they're great tacklers in space. So there's a total advantage for the Eagles in this game going into this Commander game. Tennessee has an awful offense. I mean, it's still look, Brian Dable's the offensive coordinator. And I mean, listen to their skill set, people. Cam Ward. I'll be honest with you guys, and this is not going to be a very favorable take. I don't really see special from Cam Ward. and he's a Miami Hurricane, and I love the kid, but I don't see special yet. Okay? I just don't see special. They had the 31st ranked offense. And when you look at their skill, Dale Robinson, they got Tate from Ohio State, okay, and Calvin Ridley. It's clear, and Tony Pollard. They got a pretty decent offensive line. I mean, I didn't realize Mitchell Trubisky was the backup there. Okay. That's not awful. J.C. Latham, their offensive lineman, is pretty decent. That's clearly advantage Vic Fangio. Brian Dable, I mean, your first two games. I mean, the Eagles clearly have the upper hand defensively. The third game is Chicago. This is where it's going to get a little interesting. So Chicago, DeAndre Swift had a great, you know what? DeAndre Swift had such an underrated year ago. He had 300 yards receiving with 34 catches and 1,100 yards. You know, that's kind of what the Eagles want Barkley to look like. 1,300 yards, probably 400 receiving. He's not quite the player that Barkley is. That's a pretty good year, though, dude. He had some pretty good games. Roma Dunza, I mean, 40 catches. 600 yards. I expected more from that guy out of Washington. That kid, Colston Loveland, can fucking play. He is their main target. That's going to be interesting because you know why? I'll say this to you guys. Loveland versus Zach Bond and Jahad Campbell will be the matchup in that game, along with DeAndre Swift catching the ball. I'm going to threaten the middle of the field, but that's a strength, especially when you've got Cooper DeJean in the middle. And Zach Bond is so good of a tackler. I would threaten the Eagles safeties. But how you can cover that up, by dropping those linebackers deeper. You know, make the zone deeper. That means there's more space for the backers to cover. Okay, there's more space for the backers to have to. I think what you're going to do is you're going to open the middle of the field more, but you feel more comfortable with it because you think Campbell and Bond can cover that. Okay? Let's see here. The next one. The Los Angeles Rams are after the Chicago. That's a pretty good little twosome there you got going on. Then you got the Los Angeles Rams. Stafford's exceptional. You got Blake Corum and Corinne Williams. Man, I'll tell you what, though, man. That kid Williams puts the ball on the carpet for me just way too much. However, 10 touchdowns, 1252. He had 281 in receptions and 36 catches. That's an exceptional year. I still think the kid puts the ball on the ground. Blake Corum, I like him as, get this, guys. If I told you this, figure this out here, okay? Listen to this number. So the Rams had a guy with 746 yards rushing. 746. And 6 touchdowns. And they had another guy, Corinne Williams, with 1252 and 10 touchdowns. That is quite a duo. I mean, you don't really think of the Rams as being a running team. You basically almost had 2 1,000-yard rushers on that Rams team. I mean, exceptional talent in Los Angeles. Devontae Adams had almost 800 yards and 14 TDs and 60 catches. He's 33. I think he's still got juice in the tank. How about the other one where you have now you have Puka Nacua. Look at some Puka Nacua's numbers. This is some high-powered offense, man. 17-15, 10 touchdowns. He even had 114 yards rushing. Man, they throw the ball around. How are their tight ends? Kobe Parkson, 400 yards. I think the backup even had yardage. Tyler Higbee got hurt. That's right. But dude, they got tight ends. They got wide receivers. I don't really think that offensive, but Stafford makes that offensive line. I don't believe you have the advantage in this game. I think the Rams have the advantage. I think you have the advantage in the first 3, 2. I think even against Chicago. I don't think against the Rams. As a matter of fact, yeah, I mean, Chicago's offense, I mean, I just don't see explosiveness. Caleb Williams, okay? Swift, good. Roma Dunza, Luther Burden, too. I mean, the guy was a first-round pick. He had 652. They got to improve the passing game in Chicago. Caleb Williams cannot throw the ball at 58% completion percentage. He can't do that. And then the repeat. I think the Bears are going to, I mean, Loveland is a weapon. I think Swift is good. Adunza and Burden, man, they got to get better. I think the Eagles have the advantage in that game. They should. I don't think you do in the Rams game. The Jaguars are next. Your defense versus the Jags offense. Jags had a great year. Trevor Lawrence last year, $4,000, 30 touchdowns, had 400 yards rushing. Man, and 9 touchdowns. This guy had 38 touchdowns and threw for $4,000. Very underrated year. 60.9% though completion. Man, that plays right into Vic's secondary. And if you could pressure him and keep him boxed in, I mean, are they special anywhere? Tootin's not a special back. I don't think so. Brian Thomas fell off from his rookie year. The kid, Liam Cohn is a really good play caller. He's a great play caller. Yeah, you got the advantage in this Jags game. Defensively, Carolina is next. Your defense versus your opponents. Bryce Young's getting better. But how much better? $3,000, 23 touchdowns, 11 picks. Shit, it looks like a Jalen Hurts here. 64 completion percentage, ran for 200 yards. I think he's getting better. But I still think he's middle of the road. I don't see exceptional. You know, I mean, he needs really good players. Chuba Hubbard is a good player, but like, I don't know, 500 yards rushing. You're going to need more out of that guy. Tex McMillan, 1,000 yards as a rookie. I think he's a really good football player. Xavier Leggett, he's not a bad guy, but these are marginal guys in Carolina. Jalen Coker, I mean, these are middle of the road guys. You should totally have the advantage defensively in this game. The Cowboys. Your defense versus the Cowboys offense. Dak Prescott. 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns a year ago. 68 completion percentage. He plays exceptionally well against Philly. That's going to be a problem. Javonte Williams, 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, 1,000 yards receiving, 75 catches. Pickens, 1,429, 9 touchdowns, 93 catches. Jake Ferguson, 600 receiving, 82. He's better than Goddard. I mean, it's the best offense in the NFC East. They're better than Philly and the guards. The tackles, the Eagles have them. Dallas last year had no problems with your defense. At any time, even with Phillips, they had no problems. Actually came back from 21 down. You do not have the advantage in the Cowboy game. Washington, we did that already. The New York Giants. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the Giants. New York Football Giants. How are they going to be? Your defense versus their offense. Man, I'm not impressed with Jackson Dart. Some are. 15 touchdowns, 5 picks, almost 500 yards rushing, 9 touchdowns. He's a dual threat guy, 63 completion percentage. I have no idea what that dude is yet. Cam Scatterboo's coming off of a major injury. Had 400 yards before he ended up getting hurt. What's he going to look like? Is he even going to be ready for the beginning of the season? Malik Neighbors is a great football player. Injured a year ago. He's one of the better wideouts in pro football. Darius Slayton is a dude now. Darnell Mooney. These are guys, man. Quarterback's going to have to. I don't care what you do with Odell Beckham. Eagles got the advantage in that one, too. Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, man. I don't see the Giants yet. I don't see it. The key in the Steeler game for the Eagles defense will be getting pressure on Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's going to be pressure. I mean, getting to Aaron Rodgers is going to be the key to this for the Eagles. Rodgers, Jalen Warren almost had a grand last year. They ended up losing the former Eagle. He's now down in Tampa. DK Metcalf got suspended for character issues at the end of the year. Had 60 catches. Is he still the same guy? I don't know. Michael Pittman, Colts moved off his ass and went with the younger guy. He's not awful. Rodgers will get more out of him. I think the offensive line is still pretty decent, but man, I can't see Pittsburgh having the advantage in this game either. I think you got the advantage in that Pittsburgh game. I'm not even going to look at Arizona. Indianapolis, you got the advantage in the Arizona game. Let's see here. Indianapolis. You're looking great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 7 of the 12, I think you're going to have the advantage defensively. Okay? Because your prediction hinges on the Eagles' collapse at this point. Seals, your prediction hinges on the Eagles' collapse at this point. You made your prediction too soon without realizing your schedule ain't that bad. You're talking about your defense here. Your offense will not have the advantage. Your offense is overrated. Your offense is not as good as you think it is. You lost a star player. I never said, and your margin for error, okay, is on the defensive side, not your offensive side. Dude, I think your offense is going to be down in the bottom. I still think it's going to be 25th or 26th. Okay? 25th or 26th. So, no. And you're not going to win football games based on your defense alone. Hey, bro, you're giving us the advantage in nearly half our games. No, I didn't. I said your defense, not your team. Donnell asked me, do I think and match up let me get back to some common sense, please. Jesus Christ. Come on, man. Ugh. I'm talking to a 6-year-old. Let's see here. Indianapolis. How about this? I'll tell you this, too. Daniel Jones is a better pocket quarterback than Jalen Hurts. He's better in the pocket than Hurts is. He throws the ball better, and he runs better than Jalen Hurts does. So he's not bad. Okay? Let's see here. Jonathan Taylor is an exceptional back. 1585, 18 touchdowns, and the Eagles can't stop the run. That's going to be interesting because they have one of the better offensive lines. They have the best guard in football. Their offensive line is traditionally very good. Jones can run. So to me, in my opinion, that Indianapolis game is going to be a tricky ball game. You can't stop the run. And remember what we're doing here. We're doing your defense versus your schedule's offense here. You can't stop the run. You were 23rd in stopping the run. You're a bottom half of the team. And you're going against one of the better running backs in football. I personally don't think you have the advantage defensively against the Colts here because they do something you can't do. You can't stop the run. They're not a pass-happy football team. And the Colts last year were 9th in total offense. All right, yeah, total offense. I think they were 9th. You don't have the advantage in the Colt game. Where? In the passing game? Well, that's not what the Colts do. They run the ball. The Colts run the football. They don't throw the ball. So, I'm not giving you that one. Okay? Okay. So I'm assuming some wide receivers will get cut by the end of camp. Would you take a shot at Diggs or Hill? I don't know Hill's in camp yet. Maybe a push. Okay? Maybe. Okay? Seattle. Seattle Seahawks. Defending champions. Sam Darnold. $4,000, 25 touchdowns. JSN. Wow, what a matchup that's going to be. JSN versus Quinyon Mitchell. JSN, 1793, 10 touchdowns. I believe that game, someone correct me if I'm wrong, that game's in Philly too, right? Okay? I think they're in Philly, right? Let's see here. Cooper Kupp is a good 2. They're going to get Charbonnet back. Charbonnet had 730 yards rushing. It's why they got rid of that running back, Kenneth Walker, because they believe that Charbonnet is better and he's a better football player. I happen to think he's a better football player too. Charbonnet's a better player than what Kenneth Walker was. Your so-called Super Bowl MVP. I was too. I don't believe that. Seahawks coach Mike McDonald confirmed that the team couldn't afford Reek Willen's contract, clarifying that they just didn't let him go. That's not true. They couldn't afford Reek Willen's contract? He lost his starting job, dude. What contract? Well, get this. This guy just made this up and lied. And guess what? If that was the case, why didn't the fucking Eagles give him a 3-year contract extension? If he was so great, dude, and they gave him a 1-year prove-it deal. How in God's name do you come up with this bullshit? That he just confirmed that? Really? The guy lost his job. They sent him walking. And the Eagles turned around and fucking signed a guy to a 1-year prove-it deal. But, hey, they couldn't afford him. Hey, really? So why didn't he, if he's so great, why did the Eagles give him a 3-year deal then? They could afford him. Oh, my God. Dude, people will say shit. I mean, dude, this makes shit up, dude. Couldn't afford his what? Second team contract? Yeah, we couldn't afford his second team contract. A second team contract. Yeah, okay. And by the way, I actually like to sign, but don't start talking shit like that. And give an undervalued contract to a guy. This guy's fucking nuts. I'm with you, man. A 1-year, $12 million deal. And he goes, hey, we couldn't afford the backup deal. Hey, get this. Okay. You couldn't afford a 1-year, $12 million deal. Hey, get this. They couldn't afford that, but the Eagles, they signed him to a 1-year prove-it deal. Okay. Talk about dumb shit, man. You can't make that shit up. Why didn't they give him a contract? They don't have the money to sign a long-term deal. They'll be drafting a replacement next 1 or 2 years for a cornerback opposite of Q. No shit, and you're dead on, Jay. That's exactly right. They didn't give a long-term contract to this guy if he was the answer, or they would have given it to him. What are you, fucking crazy? Holy cow. Yeah, we couldn't afford a backup. No. We couldn't afford a backup corner. The guy lost his job. And okay, now is when I would consider Crosby. You got a pretty good defense looking up here. I'll tell you what. I think the Houston game is going to be interesting. I think that Colts game is going to be more interesting than you think. Okay? I don't think so either. I don't think you need him. I don't. I don't think you need him. I don't. Let's see here. Dude, he confirmed Mike McDonald cut a guy and they couldn't afford the backup guy's contract. They couldn't afford the backup contract. And then the Eagles turn around and give him a 1-year deal too. Okay. All right. I don't think we need him either. Hey, dude, don't get me wrong. I think that dude's going to be, without a doubt, I think that guy's going to be a massive upgrade. I really do. I think he's going to be an upgrade. Boy, I'll tell you what, do I have a lot. Before I bring in Mike North, man, let's see what we have on the agenda today for Mike North. I'll tell you what, assholes are never at a loss in the NFL. This Teron Arnold deal is psychotic. Like, listen, if I want to get my stuff back, that me going out and being Tony Montana and hiring and having it streamed on whatever, watching people beat up people, I mean, guy, you may never play again. The World Cup, and by the way, this Caitlin Clark story, I'm so happy. I can't wait to get to Mike. I'm going to say this one more time here, and I said it this morning on my Tampa radio show. The reason why the numbnuts at the WNBA don't get it is because they hate it that she's a white chick from Iowa. She's the Larry Bird of today. And they don't get it. And they're so jealous of this chick. It's beyond. Now, get this. It's total racism that's going on with Caitlin Clark. And what's aggravating the black basketball players in the WNBA is that they indeed are upset with this. But before I bring in Mike North, there is another side to this. There is another side to this. And I'm going to bring him up here in a second. I want to lay it out like this. I want Mike North to do this for me before he comes on. Did Michael Jordan get the livid shit beat out of him for 8 years by the Pistons, by the Celtics, and by everybody in the league? And did he not say this? I've got to get my body ready, because if I'm going to be the face of the league, it can't be handed to me. I've got to take it. There's two ways of looking at this. When Tiger Woods went on the scene as a golfer, they talked shit to him. Every superstar athlete has to take that baton and grab it and say, they're coming for me. They're coming for me. You just can't be handed that baton. LeBron wants it handed to him. Jordan took it. Without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, and the hair that blows like the Windy City, my man, Mike North. How you doing, bro?
I feel good, man. Hope you had a good holiday. Hope everything's all right. Big Dan, how you doing, pal?
Am I right when I say that? And I'm doing great, Mike. Thank you so much, man. Hey, Jordan got the shit kicked out of him for the first 8 years in his career. I see Caitlin Clark getting the shit kicked out of her for her the first couple of years now. What's the difference?
Well, the difference is she's the league. He wasn't the league. The league was established long ago. They were not subsidized by another league. Okay, the NBA pays almost half of their bills because of people like we're seeing on display on a daily basis. They needed somebody. The fact is, it's a bunch of different things. It's racism. She's straight. Everybody knows she's got a husband, which I would imagine there aren't many in the WNBA. Believe me when I tell you this, it's become not about basketball. They dress like they're going to a nightclub and they stand in line to get their pictures taken. Their egos are high, yet they can't draw flies. And if Caitlin Clark leaves, the league would and deserve to die. But this is business by the NBA also. The NBA at some point's got to say, look we're footing the bill here. Where the hell's Adam Silver? Where the hell is the league? You know, Caitlin Clark is Steph Curry. Let me ask you this. If Steph Curry was treated by other players at 6'3", the way that she's been treated, and I'm talking about from day one, if he got put in headlocks, if he had a fit, it only takes 12 seconds to break a windpipe, okay? I got to listen to people like John Roberts of Fox saying, well, you know, I didn't think it was as bad. Has he not known the trend? And plus, it's a female. I don't care what anybody says. You're dealing with people who, if it wasn't for the WNBA, and this is all the players there. There's white players in that league that are jealous of Caitlin Clark. Okay, Kelsey Plum, Diana Taurasi, okay, Sue Bird, and others. They're white, and they couldn't stand her because of her way of life. Period. End of story. They're not black, and they felt threatened also by her play. She's the greatest girl basketball. Hold on, she's the greatest girl basketball player I've ever seen. But I coached for 6 years at Notre Dame High School in Niles. My senior team every year would whip their asses. So we're making a big deal about a league that can't subsidize herself. She's the one that's saving the league. She's the one that they're taking nice planes with. It's all her.
Absolutely. Listen, for 28 years, the WNBA has been losing and hemorrhaging money. Since she came into the league, they've taken them out of the 5,000 arenas and now put them in 22, 23,000 seat arenas when she shows up. There's no question. I was talking to Christine Brennan last weekend about this. There's no doubt she's the most influential player that league has ever seen and one of the most influential women of all time. I get all that. But, Mike, you said something.
Yeah.
She's a woman. You know what, though? Well, bro, if you want to cover a mainstream sport and you want to get tough questions and you want to do things and make it into a mainstream sport, you can't treat these people like chicks. You got to treat them like sports athletes and asking the tough question. Like the other day when that one reporter asked that one, I think it was Becker, they asked Becker, they go, hey, what's it like to have like a relationship? And, you know, I mean, how difficult is that to manage when you're, you know, playing against one another and when you have others? And you know what the PR person said? We don't answer questions like that. Well, fuck that, man. This is part of what you're going to feel. People are going to ask asshole questions, Mike. Yeah, Media people ask asshole questions to male guys.
Oh, yeah, but your problem is you said it was a mainstream stream sport, so you better back up on that.
It's not yet.
No, so how you can't say that. So now,
how are you going to become that when you don't allow it to try to become that?
So in other words, you got to get the money ticket, okay? The money ticket is you should abuse her.
No,
where the league don't even want to see her.
No. I'm not saying that.
What are you saying?
No. I'm saying when you're talking about a chick, I'm saying right. Legislate the game that it should be. I saw the hip check. I saw them throw her down. I saw $1,000 fine and a 1-game suspension. If you did that, like you said, to Steph Curry, what happened when what's his name kicked that guy in the nuts in the finals? It cost the Warriors the series because it didn't get the Cavaliers a chance to come back. There's no doubt that cost them the series, I thought, when they took Draymond out of that. You have to legislate it right. I completely agree. The lack of balls, should I say, by the WNBA in this whole thing, it comes down from the commissioner.
Of course.
She's clueless, dude.
And woke. Terribly
And
woke. That's just the way it goes. And I'm sick and tired of being woke. I've been woke for 73 years. I feel good. Don't change the language here. You're morons. Okay. You even have to have a tag to make people think just because you think stupidly that you're different. You do not. I grew up. My dad told me when I was a kid, you never hurt the meal ticket. You never hurt the meal ticket. And the fact that the referees are just as blatantly prejudiced.
I'm more pissed at those people for allowing it.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it. You have 3 referees, okay? One that looks like Tony Curtis, who's a female, okay? I'm being honest. You know, you got a short haircut, you're in. You got a haircut like Danny Sills, you're in, okay? Bottom line, I mean, one looked like Tony Curtis, the other one looks like Dionne Warwick. I don't know which way I'm going over here. So you have the lowest refs that you could get. They should have more male referees because those women basketball players from Angel Reese on are much bigger than the female referees that they have. So they give you 1 male ref and they give you 2 female refs, okay? And if there's a brawl, okay, we've seen it with videos of policemen, okay? I saw one the other day. There were 2 women cops and a guy cop. The guy got punched, okay? He tried to come back, got punched again. The 2 females got punched. One fell and the other one was looking for a radio. So let's be honest about it. You know, if you're going to legislate and officiate the game, I don't care if you're a female, as long as you're not 5'1", 160. I mean, look at Becky Hammon. The ignorance of her with Jalen Brunson. And I hope she never coaches in the NBA ever, even though Popovich made her the first assistant, which the players, former especially like Kenya Martin, won't even talk about it. And she basically was prejudiced against short people. You would have thought she wrote Short People by Randy Newman. Short people have no reason to live, or short people to have no chance of winning the championship. Becky Hammon is ignorant. She never apparently should be around an NBA roster again, and her basic aura is finished because of the nonsense. She goes, I was wrong. You can't be wrong like that. You can't judge a championship team. You have Steph Curry, who was 6'3", leading Golden State for years, while Jalen Brunson 6'2.5". Yet he's short. What would she say to Steph Curry? And she was 5'6". She was 5'6". So her nonsense, her wokeism makes me sick, and she made me ill that she's coaching a man's game. If she was the coach of the Knicks tomorrow, she'd have a mutiny. Pure and simple. That's it.
Here, let's go to this story here now. So Teron Arnold.
You got off that subject quick.
Oh no.
I'm ready to explode. I'm ready to explode.
Great. I'll stay right there because
I'm fine.
Listen.
I'm fine. I said what I had to say. She's ignorant. Becky Hammon's ignorant, and print it. And because she's hired as a damn opinion maker, and I got it wrong. No, you know what? And I never apologize in my life. But you don't judge human beings by height, and you don't judge. He's won at every level. Jalen Brunson. I coached against him in high school. He put 41 against us, and he was double teamed. It's called heart, Becky, which apparently you don't think matters. All right, I'm good.
Hold on here now. Wait. What'd you make of that poster of them like not having her face?
They're ignorant. They're all ignorant. That whole league is ignorant. How do you keep Caitlin Clark off? That's like keeping Al Capone off an all-time roster of gangsters. I mean, seriously.
It's like keeping Jordan's face off an all-time list or an all-time poster.
And here's the thing. I don't care what anybody says. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor, in his first or second year, would have been on an NBA poster. Okay? Yeah. They wouldn't have judged her or him. Look, he was a Muslim. He became a Muslim. I know the people. He came to Chicago from Milwaukee, took a train. A buddy of mine, Ed Kelly, and a famous politician. You remember him, Ed Verdoliak? He came on train from Milwaukee. They changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Chicago from Lou Alcindor. So he had his tough times too, but they didn't say, well, he's a Muslim now, or he took heat for it because those were the days when, well, now it's still the same as it was back then, only it's more accepting now. And he was alone on an island and he handled it. But people go, well, why do you think he was bitter? I said, because he couldn't name himself the way he wanted to. I mean, Muhammad Ali went through the same stuff. So there's prejudices all over. But my bottom line is, you would not keep Mike Trout when his second year or third. Would Jay have kept Ohtani off a major league poster?
Never.
In his first year, he'd be on it. And that's a 100-year-old league.
And they got Angel Reese on it.
Well, see, that's whoever's making it cannot stand. Cannot stand either white girls, all right, straight girls, or jealous. Because believe me when I tell you this, when it comes to jealousy, okay, you know what guys do? Oh, man, they envy. Boy, I wish I was with him. When it comes to women, they want to rip you to pieces if you're successful. And I always thought they were together.
Very territorial.
Absolutely.
Mike, and I think Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA, she's a complete buffoon.
She should be fired. This has been a problem for a long time.
Mike, you made a comment about, the game back in the day. If you remember right, America wasn't watching the NBA. It was put on tape delay when the Sonics and the Bullets played in the 79 title game. What changed it? Bird and Magic.
That's right.
You know what David Stern did?
Yep.
He embraced race. He embraced it. Mike, you know what he had? You had Bird, Magic, Lakers, Celtics, and the most important thing of all, you had greatness.
Yeah.
These two guys, all of it encompassed
They built it.
Instead, you've got this idiot repelled from it.
That's right.
Have you ever heard her talk when they ask her a question like this? Hey, what do you make of all the attendance that Caitlin Clark is bringing to the WNBA? You know what she says immediately? Hey, we got great players, Angel Reese. We got great players, Aj. We got, her. Never, ever does she give her kudos for really expanding. Instead of flying normal airlines to flying now charter airlines. They're doing that because of her now.
Absolutely. But look, I got a problem here in Chicago, for instance. See, the way it is now is women are jealous of other women, while men are trying to put women in good positions, and they think they're making themselves historic. There's a wonderful lady named Brooke Fletcher, and Steve Stone, the White Sox announcer, got sick 3 days ago. They basically have a guy that his name is Connor McKnight, who has experience, but he's been the sideline guy. He's the guy that goes, hey, I talked to so-and-so.
Is he a Chicago guy?
Chicago, played for the White Sox and stuff. They said, what we're going to do is we're going to give Brooke Fletcher, who's never announced a baseball game, the opportunity to sit in for 2 days. Okay, nice looking lady, very talented, works hard, and they decided we're going to make history. There was only one problem. There was a woman in the White Sox clubhouse and booth with Harry Carey and Jimmy Pearsall in 1977 for a full year. So what they did was, let's make history by her, and you can look it up. First female announcer. Sorry, second female announcer. Mary Shane was the first, 1977, my first year of marriage. People are arguing with me that she was just play-by-play. No, Harry Carey was in the booth. Jimmy Pearsall was in the booth. She was a color commentator and a play-by-play. They found out from me on X, okay, that she was a color commentator. And the guy says to me, that doesn't say what it says here. I go, I heard it.
For the Sox?
Yes.
So that's the one Vec hired, right?
That's the one Vec hired. She died of a heart attack at 42. She slipped under the cracks.
I remember the story now.
She slipped under the cracks. Okay. They're trying to tell me. I was there. I heard her do color. Oh, no, she was play-by-play, or she was both. She wasn't the first full female analyst. They tried to cover their asses, Dan, for the last 3 days. Instead of doing what we used to do. I screwed up. I won't do it again. But they tried to say there was a hero in the White Sox organization that said, I'm going to be the guy to give a woman her first job in the White Sox television booth with a guy, John Schifrin, who has enough trouble. And guess what happened? They heard from me. And then, guess what? Everybody had to change their position. She did a full year. Jimmy Pearsall said she never had a chance. Harry thought she was great on color. And then he said she was coming around on play-by-play. But she had a voice like this. And Brooke Fletcher has a voice like this. And I'm sorry. It's tough to get used to in 77. But it's 50 years ago. She opened the door.
But that was the Richie Zix teams. That's
right. Bill Veeck.
Right.
Bill Veeck. And you know what the press said? Oh, it's another stunt.
Because they didn't have the Soderholm teams and all.
Yeah, but here's the deal. The whole press was sexist because they didn't want to give her a shot at being legitimate. They said it's a stunt. No, Bill Veeck had foresight, folks. If you haven't read about him, read about him. He owned the White Sox twice, and he owned the Cleveland Indians once, and he was drummed out of the league by corporate America. He's one of the best owners in baseball history, and he makes Reinsdorf look like a buffoon when it comes to ownership.
Mike, let me tell you who I got a chance to become friends with. Guess who? When Michael Veeck ran the Rays, he would have like suitcase night. He would have all these like crazy like promotions. I used to get him in there, man, and we would talk about his pop. And I told him my first true, really games that I really ever saw was at Kaminsky when you guys were running all those psychotic promotions. I mean,
and dude, the shorts for the baseball players.
Oh my God, that's right. Chet Lemon was in those shorts. Everybody they were laughing their ass off at.
Well, you know what? I didn't mind them to be honest, because I understood Bill Veeck. Look at Charlie Finley. He wanted orange baseball so you could see him better tonight. Where are the innovators in baseball now? They're owners that want to just gouge the customers, put you on 4 or 5 different apps. Look, on the 4th of July, I'll never forget this. We went to the Sox game. Bill Veeck's the owner. Bill Veeck had the manager, Bob Lemon, as the drummer guy. Okay. He was the flute guy who had one leg. Bill Veeck had one leg. And Paul Richards was also involved playing, the three Patriots that walk. It's sort of like in The Great Escape. McQueen, Gardner, they're playing on the 4th of July. That's what Bill Veeck did, and he actually had an artificial leg. So can you imagine Reinsdorf now? He wouldn't get out of his car because it'd be over 80 degrees.
Yeah, but your city wouldn't allow that too because it's so on one side of the aisle now. You're not allowing shit like that nowadays. You're allowing people to try to take credit victory laps for putting a chick in there when they did it years and years ago.
And they didn't. If you don't know your own history, and I'm not one of these guys, don't change your history on me. I once went up to a desk at downtown, and I was looking at the thing. I talked to the lady, and she was working, behind the desk, and she says to me, I go, how you doing, ma'am? She goes, I'm not a ma'am. I'm a her or a she. I said, let me tell you something. You know what happened here. I looked at her and I said, let me tell you something. The nuns at St. Gertrude's taught me grammar and I got it almost beat out of me. You're not big enough to make me change my grammar, honey. Sweet. And she just looked at me because people don't stand up for their beliefs. They don't stand up. And where Sophie Cunningham is one of my heroes.
Man, I love her.
Because she won't take any crap from these players. And I think the rest of the Fever understand it. Absolutely.
Mike, I loved it. Did you not love that when she was like in her face dude.
Look, you know how much guts it takes to go up against females, half of whom can't play the game if it's set to save their life. and they're out there making bucks and they're demanding more money and they're trying to kill the meal ticket, don't tell them you have an IQ over 50. Don't tell me that. And don't tell me the commissioner does, or even the head coach of the Fever, who could have been a lot better, a lot more forceful like she was yesterday, a year ago, or even this at the beginning when this started happening. Steph White. And I know she was brought in later, but I think that everybody's got to be on. You can't be alone. You got to have some support. I didn't make it alone. You didn't make it alone. If they said, Dan, you got to try to get in radio on yourself, and we have our deals. We did it, but you got to have an in, or you got to have somebody that can help you. She don't even have an in.
You have to call somebody, right, Mike? Somebody has to give you a number.
I got my job because I thought of the idea, number one, but the owner knew I was brokering time on a smaller station. You got to figure out a way to have an in and to help get yourself in. But the fact that Caitlin Clark sometimes looks around and half her teammates aren't even helping her, it's got to hurt.
Got to hurt. Mike, I got another controversial one for you.
I love controversial ones, Dan. You know that.
I won't go to the Arnold one just yet. I'll go to another one. We're wrapping up Pride Month here. And Major League Baseball has all of a sudden walked it back a little bit on the fact that, they think they're going to tell people what to wear and what they're not going to wear. Where was your thought process on MLB and where they are with and again, Mike, just so you know, I don't care what the hell you are, because you know why? It has no bearing on my life.
Never heard of it.
Get this. If you want to be over here, you want to be there, you want to be that. Mike, I don't stand on anthills. I stand on mountains. So to me, I don't give a shit about that. However, what you just said a couple minutes ago, how far do I have to go to make you feel better about your life? I'm not doing that. I've got my own way on how I'm going to live. Mm-hmm. How did you see how Major League Baseball's handled this whole thing with those?
They were horrible.
San Francisco Giant players.
Disaster from the beginning. First of all, I want my own flag. Okay, I want my face on the flag, handsome and over 70. Okay, and I want to put it in front of my house, and then I want to put another flag up of me and my wife, saying I'm a hetero and I have wild sex. Okay, and I'm in my 70s. I mean, enough is enough here. Look, when I was a kid, it was bat day. It was buy a program for 15 cents and go sit in the seats and enjoy the game. I can't imagine them telling Ron Santo or Sal Bando or Ernie Banks or Willie Mays or Hank Aaron, we want a rainbow. And there's some minor league teams that almost changed their whole uniform into a rainbow. Look, spread it out. If they have a Christian night, not a month, okay? A Christian night, a Pride night, okay? Ladies' Day. They used to have Ladies' Day where women got in for free. Okay, now they get charged the same amount. I mean, everything is just gone awry because of political beliefs on both sides. It's just been like Manfred should have been fired a long time ago, okay? Jerry Reinsdorf, and if he tells me I'm lying, too bad, told me at the beginning, okay, after they needed a new commissioner, he wanted a guy named Tom something, or he was an agent, Tom something.
Tom Gardner?
I can't remember the last name, but he didn't want Manfred, okay? A lot of guys didn't. I like the Ghost Runner. I like some of the implementations. I hate some others, but at least they've tried expanding the wild card. Now, that just saves jobs for the managers who, like Craig Counsell, who's not going to win first place ever against the Milwaukee Brewers. So what he did, but what I felt bad about was Buster Posey. Here's a guy that's
saw that.
Yeah, here's a guy that's a devout Christian from Georgia, okay, who changed the catching position because he whined like a little baby because he blocked the plate and he got injured. You know what? And he changed the way the position was played after 100 years because he wouldn't stop crying like a bitch. Then I see him up there the other night, and he had to eat shit that baseball gave him. Hey, baseball says you didn't do this. Baseball says you didn't communicate with the players. Baseball says your manager didn't know anything about it. Baseball is throwing it at the San Francisco Giants, and they're trying to pretend they didn't realize they're changing the uniforms for the way you have sex. Period. I mean, that's what it's about, the lifestyle. And I don't have a problem with it. Okay. I mean, they fly flags now in my old neighborhood, gay flags. Okay. So you know right away, okay, Joe and Jim are happy. I'm fine, I'm fine. Or Ann and Emily. That's good. I want my own flag. Okay. I do have my own flag, stars and stripes. That's all it's about for me. Nobody, this nonsense that they have two national anthems, at some games. It's all ridiculous.
I love this, Mike. You're just on a heater right now. So I got another one here for you. Ready?
Go ahead. I'm going all night long like Lionel Richie.
Hey, or like Steve and Sam, the guy that lives next to you here. Anyway, how about
I don't know. No, Steve and Sam.
You said the guys next door that have a flag named Steve and Sam or something.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about the gay guy that played for the Rams. Remember that guy? Yeah, no. He was. How long did he last?
Let me go to this story now.
Keep moving, kid. You're getting red. Let's go.
All right. How about Diana Rossini? So here we go here with this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the new angle on this.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets pulled over by a cop.
Uh-huh.
She calls an NFL coach, FaceTimes him. He comes on to get her out of a ticket. Mike, let's go here. How much and how deep did she go? And what lengths did she go to write her stories and to get her stories? Because follow me here. So when A.J. Brown had a knee injury, okay, and she's talking to Sean McVay, who the Rams were talking about potentially making a trade. How do you know Rossini doesn't call McVay up and go, hey, you know what I heard? AJ's got a bad knee problem because she's in cahoots with the guy up in New England. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden the Rams go, wait a minute, because these people are valued like sources for also the GMs and teams. How do you know you're not manipulating some of the game that goes on when it comes to trades, mm-hmm. when it comes to hiring of coaches? How do you know you don't call and go, oh, I heard this guy here would be a bad hire because of this, this, and this from his past? They may be telling half truths. My point is, how far does this go and to what length? And really, what part of it, Mike? It's now looking like the New York Times
mm-hmm.
has a problem with The Athletic.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that did this
mm-hmm.
are the Times that did this because they don't like The Athletic being part of the New York Times.
Well, the New York Times did that, and you know what? Here's the deal. First of all, Diana Rossini. I've heard a couple male hosts suggest, do you think there's a chance for her to come back? Did any host ever say, do you think there's ever a chance of Dan Sills being back in radio? Does anybody ever say, especially male hosts? And I've dealt with gangsters. I've been in the restaurant business. I've drank with entertainers and all this stuff. I worked in the hot dog and fast food business. And I know this. The worst people in the world are media people. They'll pretend they love you and they'll stab you in the back. How many people stood up for you when you left? How many people stood up for anybody who's been in trouble for one way or the other? How many hosts ever said, gee, they should bring so-and-so back? And I'm hearing people, I heard a host say, I'm not going to bring them up, but I like them. It's on Twitter. You can check it out if you got investigative powers by looking. Do you think there's a chance for Diana Rossini to come back? She's done. But she's a personality now. She's a personality, and she'll do something. But everybody concerned that wants to look like they're even-handed when there's no even hand here. She knew what Drake May was going to be doing. She was getting information, and I love how you put it. I remember a guy asking me back in I think 70. Did you get laid by that one chick? I go, no, but we're in cahoots. You know what I mean? It's a new thing that she was in cahoots. And I'm using your words as funny because it's how people are treating her.
Yes.
If a guy pulled half of the shit, they don't even pull anything. They do a good job now, and they're just ousted because some manager appropriated money, didn't know what to sell. You know this. The last guys to leave a paper, that's why they're this thin. The last guys to leave are the bosses. That's the way it is in every sport, every corporation. And if you can do a good job, they won't get rid of you. But the problem is now there's many doing bad jobs. And there's all sorts of rules. You got to write me up 5 times before I can leave. Human resources, BS and stuff. People use sometimes their job as a legal thing for them. You know this.
Yeah.
It's the way it is. So it's just right now, this country is beautiful. I love it. It gave me every opportunity I got. But I'll tell you this. When somebody says to a high school dropout, ever, and a guy that had to fight his way to the top, that there's white privilege, that's the end of our conversation. Period. End of story. Because I didn't go to Syracuse. I didn't go to Duke. I didn't play in the NFL. I just had to try to make it on my own. And then I got to hear people like that lady who turned over the garbage can the other day, the New York Knicks lady.
Yeah.
DEI. You know what DEI stands for? I'm not going to hire a white guy. Period. End of story.
Mike, one last one here for you, bro.
I got to look all night long. I told you, you know what? I mean, come on now. I'm ready to sit through Having My Baby by Paul Anka. Let's go.
How about the World Cup? Have you been impressed with the World Cup?
I hope it goes as fast as possible. I can't stand it. Everybody's talking about how the Norwegian, they forgot covering soccer. Hey, a Japanese guy had a barbecue stick, A German went to Buc-ee's. They even have a guy that walked through a bad neighborhood on the south side and lived to talk about it. You know what I mean? So it's all nonsense.
Wait a second. You want it to go away. You just get the. Let's end this thing. Let's get this thing.
First of all, we're like Tom Brady was great, but there's no question the New England Patriots enjoyed 20 years of crap teams in their division and lived off 6-7 games. Well, the U.S. got to play. I think the U.S. played St. Gertrude's Grammar School in the first round. Nobody's even talking. And then they played Turkey last night and lose 3-2. I still follow the sports, but after they're gone, it will be over again. I've heard for 50 years, soccer's going to be big. Soccer's going to be big. That's like saying Pee Wee Herman was going to take over for Clark Gable. Are you kidding me?
Thank God. Dude, I
need oxygen. I feel like Steve McMichael on the fourth quarter.
Oh, my God. Too soon.
You know what?
Too soon.
Mike. The guy makes a tackle, runs off the field. God bless them. All these guys. I never took oxygen.
Mike, too soon. Hang on. I can't stand it, man. Get these guys the hell out of here. Everyone's pretending they love soccer now. Here's the only thing.
Yeah. You know what? I'm hearing guys that I didn't hear talk soccer for 4 years in our town. All of a sudden, they got they're like this, like the Norwegians. Okay. Get a boat with a motor like we do. Okay. You don't need to have 30 guys to go on a cruise.
Mike, you know what? Here's what I am enjoying about the World Cup.
What?
Is watching Team USA stand for the national anthem with their hands over their hearts, and they're singing the national anthem. As much as that really, seems like trivial to some.
No, it's not.
I don't see that anymore. Like, remember when we and you went to school? Well, when I went to school, I had to do communion first, but then we would do the national anthem. Mm-hmm. Remember, you did the national anthem?
We did the Pledge of Allegiance.
The Pledge of Allegiance. That's it. You did the Pledge of Allegiance. And I don't know how that became a bad thing to do in our country.
Well, because of the people that don't think that think we're colonialized, imperialized. They use all these words. Look, 95% of the people in this country are great people. 5% are schmoes and troublemakers on both sides. So I know the deal. It makes me sick that I was almost on my way to Vietnam and was drafted, that I'd be fighting for a lot of these ingrates that don't even love our country. It makes me absolutely ill. They say they don't love our country, yet I don't see any flights out of town. And that, if you don't love our country, if you don't like something, you wouldn't. If I didn't like my house, okay, and we bought it, I'm moving eventually. I'm not staying here forever. So these people just posture. They want to get elected. The politicians have been the ones, in my opinion, that have screwed this whole thing up on both sides, period.
Man. All right, man. One last one. I want to sneak
Come
one
on.
in.
I got 10 more things. You think you're going to get me tired? Wait a minute.
No.
Hold on.
All right,
go ahead.
Oh, my God. He's vaping on us.
He plays defensive tackle for the Chicago Bears. He just ran 3 feet and tackled a guy who's running off the field to take some oxygen, Jimmy.
All right. I will ask you the last one about Teron Arnold. What do you make of that whole story with that Lions defensive back kidnapping that? I mean, dude, where, Mike, I don't know about you, but if I ever had things stolen, my first inclination wouldn't be to hire somebody and then have it videoed and then go watch him beat the shit out of the guys. I mean, what are you thinking about? You make $9 million a year. You play DB and you start for the Lions. Where are you going with this? By the way, he was arrested in Tampa, and everyone's like, yeah, no, he's not getting bail. Dan Campbell better be thinking about a new corner because that guy's not going to play ball for a while.
Who's the other guy, the quarterback that just had got beat
Geno
up?
Smith.
Yeah, how about him? They got it on tape, and Goodell will, Goodell they didn't even have a human resources department in the NFL, and Goodell was commissioner at the time. And then you had the problem with the Baltimore guy, Jamal Lewis or something.
Jamal Lewis.
Yeah, they had also, I don't know, I hope it was him. I apologize if it wasn't, but they've had all sorts of sexual problems. I remember Ray Caruth, that's even more brutal. Look, if he can come back and get out of this, no matter what he's done, he could kill 3 people. But if he has 10 interceptions a year for the 3-4 years, he'd be elected to the Hall of Fame.
Wait, I got one that goes in with this then.
Yeah.
So Brandon Sorsby, to your point. Okay, so get this. What you just said, you can beat the shit out of somebody and get an opportunity to play in National Football League again.
No doubt.
But if you bet on sports, you can't come and bet and can't play. I mean, and guess what, Mike? Guess what a national championship game is being held this year? It's being held in Vegas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and the NFL's in bed and they got a franchise in Vegas. Would you let that kid play?
Yeah. I'd let him play because half of the league didn't even finish college. I'd
let him play too.
Yeah, I'd let him play. All of a sudden, I guarantee you, what are you going to do? Keep him out forever? I think somebody should draft him down the line. I don't know. But all these owners are terrified to do anything. So I liked it. I liked the fact that, look, there's guys in college making more money than guys in the pros.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but by the way, he signed a $4.1 million nil deal with Texas Tech.
Which is another story for another day, how I told Jay Billis and Stan Verrett, who blocked me, because he's got no spine. He was from ESPN, and they let him go. And I don't like to see anybody lose their job. But apparently, Jay Billis tried to tell me nil would be a good thing. And here's a guy that never got paid a penny, supposedly. And he's worth about $80 million. So getting an education to me. My dad, I'll never forget it. I asked him for braces because my teeth were crooked. I go, Dad, he was working on the car. I go, Dad, my teeth are crooked. Can you help me out? And he says to me, what do you want me to do? He goes, I go, I want you to pay for braces. And Mom told me to ask you. He says, hand me the wrench. That was the last discussion. Period.
Wait. Well, let me think. Maybe you will think differently of me then, what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I won't think differently.
When I was in college at the University of Miami, I had no problem taking money from people that were in the neighborhood. I took $50,000 a year. I lived in an apartment. I had a Corvette. And if somebody ever asked me where I got it from, I wouldn't say it back then because the school could get in trouble. But you know what nil means also now? Now it's legal.
Yeah.
So to me, I was like, I thought you were taking advantage of kids. I went to school. I had no problem. I thought I was a professional athlete when I'm making all that kinds of money for the school and helping the coaches make their money. I don't think a coach should make $12 million a year. And you're telling me I get room and board? I could do that in the Army. I could do that in prison. Okay. Remember, you knocked on my door and invited me to come and play, Mike, at your place. Okay.
Yeah.
You asked me to come.
So you got nothing. You got nothing. You got no education or nothing. They offered you nothing.
No, I did.
Wait a minute. You know how much my dad would have loved
used it all. I used it all. No, I used the entire system.
I know that. So at least they were offering you something. You know how happy my dad would have been if somebody gave us money for me to go to college? I understand, Dan, but just you got there because of your talent.
Yes.
You didn't say at the time, you better pay me. I'm not going.
No.
And that's the problem now. You got a guy like Tavia, okay, the quarterback that played he's there 6-7 years. Yeah. Don't tell me that's not an abuse. But you know what? They finally came out in the open. Look, Joe Namath got money. Joe Namath got Bear Bryant. Joe Namath was from Pennsylvania. Joe Montana, Jim Kelly. Oh, all of a sudden, you got this handsome dude, okay, who wasn't even accepted his first year because he was from Pennsylvania and not a Southern boy. And he went there. So I don't know what he got, but some night, yeah, I love Joe Namath. He's the great.
Mike, here I went to Maryland first. Here's the story. So he was initially supposed to go to the University of Maryland. And then all of a sudden, his SATs weren't very good. So guess what? Okay. He did not go to Maryland. So guess what Bear Bryant did? He sent up Howard Schnellenberger, my coach, because Schnellenberger was on the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I love him.
Sent him up and said, you know what Bear Bryant said? Go get me Joe Namath. He brings Namath down, and I don't know how Namath got into Alabama.
I do.
Well, yeah, of course. He got into Alabama. And that's how he got to Alabama, because he was supposed to go to Maryland.
Joe Namath, look, all these guys. Look, Dan Marino grew up in Pittsburgh. Guess where he went? Pittsburgh. Okay. I can safely tell you. I can safely tell you. I don't know if he got anything. I think he wanted to play his whole life as a kid in Pitt. And I think Joe Namath would have played either in Pennsylvania or in Maryland. Okay. Lou Holtz, God bless. I talked to Lou Holtz more than a few times. He told me we had Prop 47. If I don't have Prop 47, Chris Zorich never plays. All these guys
Ricky
from Notre
Water,
Dame never play.
Jerome Bettis, none of them
I'm
guys.
telling you straight up, and I knew Jerome Bettis.
You're one of the only guys that knows that story of that 1988 Notre Dame. And by the way, I think that was a brilliant thing he did because Notre Dame, you know, back in the day, you know, one of the problems that Notre Dame had, Mike, they wouldn't redshirt. And they didn't believe in redshirting, and you had to have, like, instead of having a 2.0, you had to have like a 2.6.
Yeah.
And that's why guys like Rice, Tony Rice, and those guys, they couldn't get in, so they had Prop 46.
They had to do something. Holtz wouldn't have taken the job. He would have never taken the job.
I think was only around for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And like what you did was you went to college, they allowed you to come in, but you had to sit a year to prove that you could do college academic work. And you're right. That's how Chris Zorich got in. That's how Tony Rice got in.
Chris Zorich.
Let
me tell you something. Chris is one of my dear friends, and he worked with me on radio. I helped him out a few times, and I delivered turkeys in the black neighborhood for him. Okay, in a brand new Mustang convertible. I have turkeys in my car.
I'm a big fan of Chris Zorich.
I love Chris. Chris told me he was waiting in line for government cheese. He had no money. This is what we're talking about. He was grateful for the education only. He never once thought, I need this or I need that. He was just happy to get out of there. Like my mom now. She eats good because she was born during the Depression. And
Dude,
her father.
His aunt is Olympia Dukakis. Chris Zorch's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Caucus.
Chris is Polish or Ukraine. I forget. And
something like
African
that.
American and black.
Yeah.
And so Chris is such a great guy. But Lou Holtz, he reveres him. They all revere him because he opened the doors at Notre Dame. But he said, listen, you want me to coach your school? You got to help me out a little bit here. You know, there's only so, I mean, there were some great players when they had high standards. Jack Snow, Terry Hewitt, Hanratty. These guys were legends in the 60s at Notre Dame. They helped build the legacy of Notre Dame. They didn't need help. But when the schools that these kids were going to weren't supplying them, as we see now, you had to help them out some way. And I think Notre Dame did the right thing.
We had a bunch of kids from my high school go to Notre Dame. Rick Swatland and Pete Demerell.
I remember Pete Demerell.
Pete Demerell went to broke all the receiving records at Notre Dame. He was a really great player when he was at Notre Dame. And by the way, Hanratty now lives in New Canaan. So you
had John Hewitt and Terry Hanratty on the same team. I mean, that's when the education mattered. Now it's the Bucks, and I don't begrudge anybody that got away with it in the past, because you're right about a lot of certain things. But you know what? There were some schools. I mean, I got to bring it up. What happened to Dickerson? Okay, at SMU, they gave him the death penalty when the SEC schools were paying hundreds and thousands of dollars. They picked on them because they could. They weren't from that power.
They were upping, Mike. They were Miami before Miami.
Absolutely.
They got caught. Eric Dickerson told me this, and I'll tell you, he doesn't really tell many people. When he was supposed to go to Texas A&M, right? They gave him a boatload of money.
Of course.
All of a sudden, the next day he changes and he goes to SMU. And there is a Camaro in the driveway. I said, they gave you a Camaro, a gold Camaro, a Firebird it was, a Firebird.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. Well, years later, I found out. I go, you own 54,000 acres of West Texas land? He goes, yeah, how do you know that? I go, somebody from SMU told me that you own 54,000 acres out in West Texas. He goes, yeah. I go, was that part of the deal? He goes, I'll never tell.
Yeah, which means that's taking the fifth, which means you're guilty. So, yeah, look, I admire
54,000 acres of land in West Texas they gave him.
Look, you're seeing, and coaches have been just as bad. I'm with you on the coaching thing, and Nick Saban being now the guardian of ethics in the NCAA and let me go in front of Congress. I'll tell you the damn truth about all these guys, okay? Because I've dealt with them when I was in high school, a high school coach. Guys would come in our gym, okay? Illinois, a lot of these teams, okay? And they'd look at our kids like, they were nothing. These coaches had plenty of funds to go their way, but they'd look at our kids and they just wanted to win right away. Bruce Pearl, he's on TV. Bruce Pearl's on TV. One of the biggest cheating guys of all time.
Got booted out of Tennessee for that.
Oh my God. I mean, just absolute. And he's been at other places. And then the guy, Sampson from Houston, arch criminal for cheating. And these guys get rewarded.
And Dockage thinks he is a lowlife.
Oh, there's no question about it in my world, because I was at a restaurant and they were staying at the same hotel. I go, this is the guy's third job. You screw up once in a lot of occupations, you don't get a second chance. These guys, they're a little club. I mean, look at the guy from Steve Sarkisian. Look at that loser. He got a job at Alabama. Then he gets because USC was a train wreck. He should have never been a head coach again, and he'll never win at Texas, ever.
No.
He'll never win. He's been gifted.
You think Kiffin wins at LSU?
I pray not. I pray not.
I don't either.
And what's funny, I want to know, I got to ask you this. Who in God's earth, I'm almost tearing up about this, who wants wants to see Brian Kelly on TV?
Oh, God, no.
Oh.
The most hated guy in the history of college football. CBS is putting him on the tube.
It's going to be an automatic click. Nobody likes the guy. Notre Dame hates him. Notre Dame, please be understanding of others. Screw him. You left us for that, and then you're going to get a TV job? I mean, come on.
Dude.
Nobody wants to listen to Brian Kelly. Brian, you should be watching the show. I hope. Why am I getting? I got to move my chair over.
He is so unlikable.
Give him the hi hat. He looks like W.C. Fields. Got the red nose, the pint. I'm surprised that he never dropped a pint bottle out of his back pocket.
Dude, Mike, one of the most ridiculous things when he was with that accent going, "Hey, everybody, how you doing?" I go, the guy's from Vermont. How has he got a Southern accent? He's from Vermont.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a great story.
He's a bullshit artist.
Yes, I was in the Army at Fort Polk, Louisiana, with half of our platoon was from Chicago. We were draftees. And the other half was from Alabama, other places in the country. I spent 4 months, almost 5, in Louisiana and in Georgia. And by the 3rd month, I was going, I'll tell you what, are we going to go out tonight? I got to get the hell out of here. Okay, now wait a minute. But it was 3 months in, and everybody talks like that out there, right? So now you're starting to pick up some of the nuances, and you want to get some favorable things. You go to the store, how you doing? You know, this guy, the first day, okay, I tell you what, we know what we're going to do here. We're going to win championships. He had a draw bigger than Bear Bryant. We were just talking about Bear Bryant.
Oh, my God.
Right?
Mike, you had a heater today. Man,
I'm on a heater. You know why I'm on a heater? I thought I was fired last week at first. I didn't hear from you. I didn't hear from you.
You never happened, man.
No, but I didn't hear you. Wait, I didn't hear from you. And we always had this deal. You're always going to text me every week, right?
I did.
Well, not last week. When you were off for the holiday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what happened was it's Friday. I should have known. Okay. It was Juneteenth. Okay. And
that's not what happened. Zander got married.
Oh, God bless. Yeah, I had a nice gift for him. I would have had a nice gift for him. Tell me,
Zander got married. I didn't take that thing off.
What? Oh, I know. I'm not. Oh, no. I thought I knew something was up. And I go, but I'm joking around. Oh, I think I'm fired, B. I haven't heard from my guy. You know what I mean?
No way.
He goes, no way. You guys are good.
You bet.
And she says, no, that's not. I go, wait a minute. But it was on Juneteenth, too. So now I'm thinking.
You know better than that.
Well, no, I thought you're a big Juneteenth fan. Okay.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I said to you, I said, listen, I go, B, I respect the man. You know?
Yeah.
He's another. Right. No, but no, all kidding aside, I knew what was. I didn't know Zander was getting married. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
Tell him good luck.
Italy. He's in Italy.
Oh, I went to Italy. Okay. And, they put down a margarita pizza in front of me. Their pizza. I looked at it. I go, what? Where's the rest? Like this. Oh, I go, I eat at Malnati's. We have deep dish in Chicago. Look, why are all the Europeans? All I ever heard as a kid, you want to go to Sweden. You want to go to Italy. You want to go to Paris. The best food is here. I have a Frenchman a French soccer player going, I love the Culvers. I love the Culvers. I'm going, what are they doing? All I ever heard was fine wine, great food, Australia, all these people. I went to a Buc-ee's. They had 20 gas station bays. These poor people. We're so lucky. We're so lucky here.
Hey, Mike, what do you make of your Pope being a Sox fan?
Well, they showed his own neighbor the other day. That's a dump now. He grew up on the south side, Dalton. He grew up in the south area.
Hold on. The Pope's a South Sider?
Yeah. He's a White Sox fan. A.J. Przinsky went to see him, and he gave him a Sox shirt, and which I thought was a Sox jersey. And he said to the Pope, he said, the Sox are doing good right now. He goes, I know, I watch them. That wasn't on my bingo card. I guess that's a new thing you say now. That's not what I expected. That's what we used to say. The Pope being from Chicago and says he watches the game on satellite. He's in the Basilica with a cigarette and a beer. Like this.
He's eating the Chicago style pizza.
The guy's like this. Guy's giving pizza out to Cardinal Moo over here. You know what I mean?
Cardinal Moo.
Cardinal Moo and Cardinal JAKIB and all these guys that walk around going, "Hey, how you doing?" You know what I mean?
There's Big Z right there in Italy. Look at that.
Hey, I'm so happy for. Look, you know how I feel about you guys. And Zander is a go-getter. I wish him nothing but the best. And I've been married. I'm going to be married 49 years, and it's the best thing ever happened to me. It is, and I wouldn't be here without my wife. I think everybody knows that because I lost my keys the other day. It took me 2 hours because she wasn't home to find them. Well, listen, and they were in a good place.
I love this kid, man. I don't really like.
Oh, he's a tremendous look. Look. I've been there. I give him a lot of credit. And I give you a lot of credit. You're always working. I'm always working. Frank Sinatra. I did a thing on Tom Dreesen the other day. Tom was a good friend of mine. And I got I met and partied with Frank Sinatra. Dream come true. And he was one of these guys. He was really ice cold for a while. And then he said, guess what? Then I got hot. And then one night he goes to a party and all the people that he had called when he was cold weren't, they were there. And somebody said to him, "You're going to go up and give him hell?" He goes, "No, I might have been bad for business at the time." This is how the media business is. You can't take anything personally. If they think you're not good for their business as where it stands now, that's the way it goes. But the Sinatra story is Dreesen toured with Sinatra for 20 years. And they had been on a 2-month tour. And Dreesen tells the bellboy, they land in Miami. They're going to do a show the next day. Sinatra stays out all the time till 3, 4 in the morning. And he makes everybody come with him. Okay. So Dreesen gives the bellboy $20. He goes, "Look I need some rest. I've been drinking too much. Frank Sinatra wants us out with him all the time. Here's $20. Do not tell him where I'm at. And if he sends you for me, you can't find me." He goes, "No problem, Mr. Dreesen." 10 minutes later, he goes, "Mr. Sinatra wants you downstairs." He goes, "I told you, I gave you $20. What are you doing?" He goes, "Sinatra gave me $100 to find you."
Let me tell you a Sinatra story.
I love Sinatra stories.
Okay, so my wife and I lived in in Vegas for about 5 years. And the head basketball coach at the time was Jerry Tarkanian.
I love Jerry.
And the Shark dude knew everybody. Tony Bennett. Everyone. Oh, yeah. And back then, this was old Vegas still. It was the Dunes. It was the Sahara.
The Frontier Desert Inn.
The Flamingo.
Oh.
It was, right. And get this, as we were getting ready to leave, that's when they were putting up the new MGM.
Yeah.
That's when Circus. That's when New York, Excalibur, all this, and Luxor starting to come up. The Mirage was there already a little bit. So Tarkanian had this place and this restaurant. And we get a chance to go, and he's like, "Listen, I want you to come here and meet me at this restaurant." Sinatra used to go and recruit at one time for Jerry Tarkanian.
Right.
And what he would do is call the parents up. "Hey, is Larry Johnson there?" And he goes, "Larry Johnson in the house." And I go, "Who's this?" And I go, "It's Frank Sinatra. I'd like to talk to Larry Johnson." And the mother and father would go like this, "What?" And Frank would do the recruiting for Tarkanian because they loved Tark. And sure enough, man, this guy did so much of the recruiting for him. And there's pictures of Sinatra in his place when he was alive and how Frank was like a big running rebel guy. And Tarkanian and him were like this.
Yeah. Well, Frank Sinatra, I had connections out there, and I went to a concert with Frank Sinatra. With Frank Sinatra as the headliner at the Desert Inn, and they gave me seats right in front. And then afterwards, the maitre d' comes up and goes, Mr. Sinatra would like you and your beautiful wife to join him at the Forum Lounge where Keely Smith's going to give a private show. There's 20 of us only in the place. I'm at the other end of the table. Sinatra, I'm there for 2 hours, and I go to my wife, look, he's not going to talk to us. You know, he don't know us. Let's pretend we're leaving, or let's try to sneak out of here and pretend, thank him and stuff like that. So we start to walk out. He goes, hey, I hear a voice. Hey, where are you going? I turn around. I look at the people I was with. I look, it's Frank Sinatra. I go, where are you going? I go, we're going to the washroom. We'll be right back. We go out to the hall. I go, BB, Jesus Christ. He goes, because Sinatra said, when you come back, I want to talk to you. So I come back, and now here's a guy who wanted. There's only two guys that ever intimidated me that I met. One is Frank, and the other one's Pope John Paul II. Okay. And I said, how you doing, Mr. Sinatra? He goes, hey, I hear you're a talk show host out of Chicago. Yeah. How the Cubbies doing? This and that. Then he was half in the bag. He was drinking shorts of Jack Daniels. And so I talked to him for 15 minutes. I knew Leo DeRocher, he talked to everybody at one point. I go, listen, I never have done this. I haven't done this since I was a kid. Can I have an autograph? He goes, no, I don't give autographs. Here's a non-filtered pack of Camels. I go, are you going to autograph that? He goes, no. I said, well, what am I going to do? I tell him I gave it to you. I go, they won't believe me. He goes, who would make up that story? That Frank Sinatra gave you a pack of Camels. So now I tell my mom. She goes, my mom's, of course, Italian, but she's one of those Italians that still got her communion money and doesn't trust anybody, including her own kids. I go, Mom, I met Frank Sinatra. Oh, sure you did. She never really believed me. Then she's reading Parade magazine. 5 years later, Dennis Miller meets Frank Sinatra, tells the exact same story that I just told you. And Sinatra gave him a pack of Camels, and my mom goes, you were right, So that's one of my favorite stories. And the other one was with Rickles and Sinatra and Dreesen. And there's there's lightning going on outside. Lightning. Sinatra's drinking, bing, bing, smoking. This guy was a medical marvel. 83, should have been dead at 40, for a lot of things probably. And it's lightning, but the lightning's going through the window. And he finally says to Dreesen, hey, here's what I want you to do. Who's ever taken my pictures outside, all right, with these flash bulbs, tell him to stop it because it's bothering the shit out. It was the lightning. He was so lit. So he was just I met a guy that you watch on TV that was larger than life. And, when I watch him on movies with Ava and all the crap with Ava Gardner, my God, it's a beautiful thing.
One last one, Mike.
I love it when you keep saying that.
I keep saying it. Listen, so when I was in high school, I think I was a sophomore in high school, 1978. Mm-hmm. I got a great picture of this. So my school gets a chance, my Catholic school gets a chance because there was a new pope. So I was an altar boy at Yankee Stadium and our school was like when John Paul II followed up John Paul I because he didn't last very long because he got sick,
Well, yeah, he got sick. All right. After 30 days, they said, we got to get rid of this guy. He knows too much.
Hey, that's the story I'm sticking to.
It was in Godfather 3. They tell you the whole thing.
Hey, listen. So get this. So they go like this. We had to go to the Bowery, and then sure enough, at the end of it, get this, Mike. Yeah. There I am. I'm an altar boy for like the John Paul II. I'm sitting there giving communion.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's brutal. I met him. I didn't meet him personally. We had front row. I took 35 people to Italy. The people, my friends, for my 25th anniversary. But we got the front row, the front 3 rows. And the Pope was wheeled out in a golden, flatbed thing, and he sat down. Before he sat down, he looked at us. And I swear to God, he looked at me like this. He went, and my hair on the back of my neck stood up. I go, my God, it was just, I'm so fortunate. We're both so fortunate to live here,
Bro, Mike, listen, You have yourself a great weekend.
Have yourself a wonderful weekend.
You were on a heater today.
I'm always on the heater. Well, not really. I rest a lot during the week.
Tell the people where they can find you, bro.
Today I got videos up, and I also have an odds couple show where 7 years we're the longest running terrestrial radio betting show on terrestrial radio. And we did a wonderful show today. I have David Clayton Thomas of Blood, Sweat, and Tears died Monday. We just did Somebody Big Just Died, which is a show I do on Twitter. We just did Tom Dreesen, who once asked me, you think I'll be big enough to be on your show? And 3 years later, he's on the show. So that tells you how fleeting life is. And David Clayton Thomas this Monday for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I wasn't the biggest fan, but I understand when you sell 50 million records and they're still playing them, you got to understand it, So
spinning wheel, baby.
Spinning wheel, running wild, or whatever the hell it was. I don't know.
Hey, Mike, I will see you next week. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, buddy.
You got it. That is the great Mike North. One of the greatest legends in the history of Chicago radio. I got to do and pay some bills here. My great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason. With over $30 billion recovered for clients, that's what makes Morgan & Morgan the number one injury law firm. I tell you about the family in Pennsylvania that was initially offered $650,000. They got nearly $30 million in settlement. Or the family down in Florida that was given initially $350,000 in a settlement. They ended up getting nearly $12 million. Do me a favor, folks. This will be the easiest decision you ever make in your life. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sale sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
We have a new nugget here. Gardner Johnson is unloading on the Eagles and saying the reason that the band has been broken up was because of Barkley. Gardner Johnson just unloaded on the Eagles. You've got guys running people over, DUIs, killing people. Is he taking a shot at Jalen Carter? Hitting females. I make plays, but they say we'll only keep you for 3 months. I hope you're all happy. You see that band's getting broken up? Saquon Barkley is the true reason that the band broke up. AJ not getting the ball he used to do because Barkley going into coaches' offices saying that we need to run the ball, and Hurts was also one of the reasons that they changed away from going to AJ. And he's throwing strays at Jalen Carter's character. Gardner Johnson taking shots now. Woo, baby. I got to tweet this out here. Where's CJ? I'm going to put a little popcorn there. CJ Gardner is on a heater himself. Holy shit. CJ taking shots. Wow. CJ taking I got to do this, taking shots at Jalen Carter and Saquon Barkley. I got to put a little popcorn here. P.O. There's the popcorn. Holy cow. Well, hey, let me read that again. Gardner Johnson unloading on the Eagles. You've got guys running people over, killing people. I'm assuming that's Carter. DUIs. Who had a DUI in Philly that we don't know of? Hitting females. I make plays, but they say we'll only keep you for 3 months. I hope you're happy. You see the band's getting broken up. Barkley. Damn. Killing. I want to know the I got to ask the question. Who's the DUI? What Eagle had a DUI? What Eagle had a DUI? And hit a woman. I'd like to know. Hey, Bob Lang. Woo, baby. Oh, yeah. There you go. Right. Nolan Smith. That's right. Nolan Smith with the DUI. Nolan Smith. So he's taking a shot at Nolan Smith. Looks like he's taking a shot at the Georgia guys. Nolan Smith, Carter killing people, killing someone who hit a woman. I got it. Okay, so it's Nolan Smith. Damn. Just reckless driving. I didn't no, you're right. He didn't have DUI. That's right, Joe. It wasn't that's right. That's right. That's wrong. He didn't have DUI. He did not. It was reckless driving. That's correct. I don't remember that. I think he's talking out of his ass here. Yeah, I think he's talking out of his ass. Because Nolan Smith wasn't drunk. So he may just be making that up. And I'm going to assume he's making that up. Because I don't know of any Eagle that had a DUI. Now, the hitting of the chick, though, where's he getting that from? Yeah, he was the 135 in the 70 mile an hour zone down in Georgia, right? I don't remember alcohol being part of that. CJ's talking about what happens in the league, not specific to Eagle players. You're reading his post all wrong. Okay, all right. I may be. Okay. So he's probably talking about, well, wait, he's also talking, hey, dude, I think he's taking a shot at the fact that the band's getting broken up. You've got guys running people over. I'm assuming that's Carter. DUIs. And hitting females. It can't be any of the Eagle guys. What the fuck is he talking about? This guy's whacked. Yeah, until further notice, dude. You know? He's been on 3 teams since us. What band exactly? Dude, I'll tell you what, though. Gardner Johnson, you have to admit, every year he's been with Philly, he's been to the Super Bowl. CJ is a piece of work because look at the things he's going through with the mother of his kid and all the rumors. I saw that. I think this guy, listen, I don't buy this until further notice. You're going to have to show me who the hell he's talking about. If you want to get specific, it's going to be, listen, I'm with you, dude. Oh, so you, like I said, like one of the guys said, you're probably talking, like, you know, you're probably talking. Every time I turn on the TV, they're always talking about the Eagles. Every time I turn on, they're always talking about the Eagles like they're not 31 other teams to talk about. Don't even talk about the Cowboys no more. Bro, we went and talked about the Cowboys and all the teams they're playing today. Nice job, kid. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about anyway. Hey, dude, he must be a little tipsy or something. Yeah, who's he unloading on? The guy's hating on the Eagles right now. How I'm reading that, he's hating on the Eagles because the Eagles passed on him. And they sent him away. And they wanted to get out from under him. I think the guy's just a little butthurt. Meanwhile, look at all the CJ crap going on. Yeah, no, I get it. Okay, my bad, Randy. I apologize. Yeah, CJ looks drunk, dude. Wouldn't be a Cowboys offseason without at least one arrest. Oh, my God. Dude, Gardner Johnson just needs to go away. And by the way, you know what you do? I'm going to take that down. Because you know why? I'm not giving him the time of day. He just wants to be heard right now. Yeah, I'm deleting this. I'm deleting it. He just wants to be heard because he's running out of options. He's got nothing left. Yeah. I mean, and for the record, dude, he did call out Saquon. He did call out Saquon. Probably, and that's right. Yeah, dude, you know what? Sig, that's the kind of guy there, okay? That's the kind of guy that you don't give, like, at the time of day to. Like, there's people in your life or people that show up on my show I don't give the time of day to, you know? Completely beneath me responding to them. I just don't do it. Okay? Bro, I love these guys that say this shit. That I thought you had, if you were a troll, you had to go somewhere and troll somebody. I'm on my own programs. I'm on my own platforms. And I have my own shows. I love the fact, too, I got some hammerhead on my Twitter going, Sileo's got burner accounts. So I'm like, burner accounts? I barely know how to log on. Are they crazy? Honestly, man. Yeah, this can't be aimed at any of the it can't be aimed at any of the Eagle guys. No way. No way. No way. You're correct, Sills. I mean, look. Excuse me. Sig. You're in a position right now where, Gardner Johnson, is he signed with anybody? Is Gardner Johnson on a team? Is he on a team right now? Is he on a football team? He's on the Bills. Look at this, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams. And he's 28. 8 teams, and he's 28 years old. Super Bowl champion, led the NFL in interceptions, and on the all-rookie team in 19 with the Saints. And you've been on 8 teams? That's a crazy resume. And that's a guy you stay away from. Did Sills just call me a drunk? No, I didn't. This guy was reading my texts like he was on his 8th Corona beer. 7 other teams could have got it wrong too. We even gave him a second shot, bro. But you got to admit, the guy being on your football team 2 times was a benefit, dude. If I were Eagle fans with Gardner Johnson, yeah. Now that I look at it, this dude's just screaming on an anthill. Don't give that guy the kind of time of day. He's just screaming on an anthill. Right? This guy's just screaming on an anthill. Yeah, I mean, Super Bowls mean nothing. Yeah, well, again, I said he was on 2 football teams that you had success with him. Can't deny that. He was on 2 football teams with you. The 2 years. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, he was on an NFC Championship game team as well with the Lions when they went to the NFC title game. Yeah, I think so. I think Fangio was a factor not wanting Gardner Johnson. Man. Dude, look at these. See, here's the problem that you get with Gardner Johnson. If you're the Buffalo Bills and you see that, or you're any other NFL team, and that guy's going to end up getting whacked by maybe the Bills, and maybe that's what's going down, and you see how that guy's acting, are you going to bring that guy into your football team? It gets to a point where, guess what? You don't want to have anything to do with guys like that. Dude, I learned one lesson. You know what that is? Joe Krause can attest to this too. When you're in the radio business or you're in any business and you start taking shots at people that hired you and you leave the places and you start talking shit on them, other people that are going to potentially hire you are going to look at that and how you act. And they're not going to hire you, man. If you're barking, this guy was this guy was that. You ever notice all the people that have left JAKIB have no jobs? Those guys have no jobs. Every one of them. And if you do, you're on a weekend show. Weekends? I mean, you got a weekend radio show? Dude, not me. I don't think I've ever worked weekend radio. Like, ever. Did I ever do that? That's right, bro. Bridge burners don't make good bridge builders. Dude, that's a freaking great take. That's exactly right. Hey, dude, you burn your bridges. Hey, dude, why do you think we get the kind of people we get on our show all the time during the football season? And all those folks come on the program. You know why? We don't burn any bridges with them dudes. We never do that. Guys, we appreciate you, man. Getting around the holidays now. We're almost at July 4th. And great stuff during, the downtime in football. You guys have been great, and I appreciate you. We shall see you on Monday going 2 to 6. Have a great weekend. By the way, don't forget to catch me on Sports Grid this Saturday and Sunday. And by the way, we're going to put Zander on during the football season. He's going to be my Eagle guy during the football season. We appreciate each and every single one of you. God bless. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. We'll see you on the flip side.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face. Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh.